What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Hard Count. I was out last week, but I had no fear because the man to my right, Mr. CJ James over here, held it down.
Yes, sir, man. Obviously, our guy Connie was out, like I talked about last week. How you feeling, man?
You know, I'd say I'm a solid 85 right now. You know what I mean? I'm like on the last 2 days of the sickness. You know, the little congestion, cough here and there. You're gonna hear, but I'm there. I'm almost done. So I feel better. Just classic little cold type. No COVID. I got tested and everything,
All
but
right, that's good. That's good.
just definitely a pain in the ass. That I'll say.
Nah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, getting sick. That's
Cough
full.
had me sounding like a smoker. So what's
Yeah,
going on,
man.
Matt?
Yeah, it was good, bro. Was
Packers
good.
week 4 gonna be fired. Yeah, for you.
Yeah,
But
it's a
listen,
tough one.
I feel better. But CJ, enough about me. How you doing, boss?
Doing well. Doing well. Just excited. Just excited to talk about these games. So many storylines within these games so far, even though it's so early in the season. And I'm just excited to talk some football with my guy, man.
Yes, sir. And listen, we are going to talk all about the football because obviously a big week 3 in the NFL, plenty of stuff to get into, but a little. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of snuck by everybody. Like I've heard some people talk about it sometimes, but I feel like it's kind of sneaking by. No more Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is no longer a part of the NFL cachet. To say, got the Super Bowl, but now we still have Pro Bowl Skills Week. I believe they're calling it the Pro Bowl games. There we go. Week-long skills competition, which culminates in a flag football game. Listen, we've talked many times that the Pro Bowl is literally the worst thing, maybe in all of sports, potentially. At a minimum, it's the worst all-star game in the 4 major sports. Like hockey is still pretty good. Baseball is an actual baseball game because I mean it's not like you can really fake playing baseball. And then the NBA, I would say what, CJ? The first 3 quarters are kind of the, hoopla, whatever. If you could move the mouse a little bit, it's yeah, there we go. But yeah, like the first 3 quarters, I would say is kind of that no defense, a bunch of alley-oops, long threes type of situation. But they put that Elam ending in, and now that 4th quarter gets intense. It's like some real basketball with the best players in the world on the court. So it's gotten pretty good. And then the Pro Bowl was a joke. It was terrible, awful. I mean, I've never, honestly, might not have ever seen worse football.
Yeah, it's crazy because growing up, it was really good. It was growing up. Growing up was definitely really good. Those guys actually played. They cared about the game. They used to go to Hawaii. Now they go to Florida. It's not really the same. Florida's like right there. Hawaii is like a place where you could, chill out for a little bit. It's kind of off the coast a little bit. Go out with your family. The players, they love talking about going to Hawaii, experiencing that. Kind of chop it up with some players across the league, gain relationships, things like that. But you could still do now. But I just feel like it was better back in the day. And now these guys are making so much money. They're superstars. They're their own brand. They feel like why should I go 100% when I'm going 110% in these regular season games? Why would I go 100% in a game that absolutely means nothing?
Get hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. You could get hurt. You lose all your leverage. Say you're in a contract year, make the Pro Bowl, get hurt in the Pro Bowl. You don't get any bread in the offseason for free agency. So I get it. I definitely understand why players are very hesitant as to going so hard in the Pro Bowl. And NFL, they're just gonna have to adjust, and this is what they did. Flag football is definitely safer. There's something that they've been promoting now over the last few years, especially with younger kids, as opposed to having the helmets, because I just feel like, that's kind of too young to be having that helmet to helmet contact, especially, just think about the damage if you start young all the way till you get in your 20s and 30s, what that would do to your brain. So, yeah, starting off with flag is obviously the best. It's still a really good sport. I have a couple leagues out here in the city, I'm sure over there where you're at as well, in New York. So, yeah, it's fun. It's technical, it's strategic. Obviously you can't tackle, but you still have to have some pretty good hand-eye coordination, to pull the flag off somebody's body. So, it's a good game. NFL, yeah, I think it should just make it fun. It's just a fun type game, skills position. I want to see that. All these quarterbacks. There's a plethora of quarterbacks now, especially in the AFC. Want to see some of those guys, throw the rock, who could throw the farthest. These are conversations we've had on the show. I'm pretty sure amongst our immediate friends and close friends about Mahomes and Allen and Rodgers, who can throw the far, who's the most accurate quarterback. I mean, I feel like we could definitely still have some excitement to the Pro Bowl despite not having the actual game. So it's a smart adjustment by the NFL, and we'll see if it brings some more eyes to the product.
Yeah, I mean, I like the move, but I feel like it all does hinge on what this week-long competition is. Because, like you said, I think a lot of people want to see like the furthest throw. I loved when they used to dropped the footballs down from the drone, and they had to catch it. And then I think that only lasted like a year. They took that away, like they brought that back. And then listen, Jason Kelsey, and it does say it somewhere in an article that I read. I wasn't sure if it was this ESPN one you have pulled up, but it said it'll test their football and non-football skills. So I want to see if they have some fun stuff in there. Like, listen. Yeah, we all love football and stuff, but I think another thing that really helps build your brand and can bring maybe non-football people in is doing some weird and funny things. Like Jason Kelsey mentioned it. He was like, I want to have an offensive line hot wing eating contest. I'm telling you right now, I'm watching that. I'm watching that. Like I think it would just be funny as hell to watch the big ass linemen just try and dog hot wings like they were competitive eaters. I think Jason Kelsey said in the competition he ate like 62 in 10 minutes.
No,
he lost to some girl though that ate 360 apparently.
I mean, I love food, but I love food too much to eat it that fast. And
CJ, I've always thought about it. If I ever got like a free entry into a hot wing eating contest, because my favorite food, hands down, bro. Not even close. If I got a free entry into a hot wing eating contest, I'm up there for 10 minutes enjoying them.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you got to savor those moments.
Give me a side of blue cheese. I'm good.
Good to go. But yeah, I agree. You made some great points, and especially for offensive line too. I mean, I feel like they don't get talked about enough, and I think
have them run a 40 instead of the fast wide receivers. We know the wide receivers are fast.
Now, yeah, they could switch. Yeah, exactly. They could do positional 40s or sprints or something like that, a race. And I think that'll bring a lot of eyes. It'll be hilarious. It'll show the athleticism of some of these offensive linemen. I think a lot of people judge based on how they look, but these guys don't come out the game, especially offensive linemen. There's no offensive subs. New guard, come in. Nope, they play the whole drive up and down the field while 250 to 300 pound defensive linemen are trying to push them on their back. So, they're pretty athletic as well. And I think, they need to get some love too. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a perfect opportunity for the NFL to mix it up, make it exciting, and let us forget about these last few years of mid that we've seen on ESPN for the Pro Bowl.
Mid ain't even the word.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to
it was flag. It was flag anyway.
Yeah.
So they just
it was two-hand touch. It was two-hand touch.
So I'm glad, I mean, I still feel like they're not going to go as hard because you could still get hurt playing flag too. But it's definitely safer. Definitely safer than running, 20 miles per hour trying to take somebody's head off.
CJ, it's funny that you talked about the athleticism for offensive linemen because just real quick, before we get into the games and everything, I was watching Pat McAfee today. Listen, that's my new guy. What can I say? And they had AQ Shipley on, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And he was a lineman in the league. And David Bakhtiari came back this week, and he would like play a series and then take a series off. Like they're trying to ease him back in after all the injuries he's had the past few years. And David Bakhtiari after the game was like, I never really realized like how nice it is that like, to not play the whole time. He's like, having that somebody come in for you is kind of nice. And Shipley was like, listen, people don't understand. Like, we're not like the wide receivers and things like that, where, we run a few plays and then, come out, I need a breather. Like, if the offense runs 90 plays, you are on the field for 90 plays. And the only people that can say that are them and the quarterback. And then, I guess the first 2 years of his career, Christian McCaffrey, which by the way, you wonder why he's hurt now. The man played 100% of snaps his first 2 years in the league, out of pocket. But yeah, offensive linemen are crazy. So if they started like showing the athleticism in the skills competitions, I feel like it'd be super fun. So I'm excited to see what they do because, like we all said, the Pro Bowl was terrible. It was simply bad. Like, it was just not fun to watch. So hopefully this will be a lot better. But with all of that being said, as you guys can see on the screen, if you're watching and if you're listening to the podcast, later on, don't worry, we got you. We're going over the games now. The week 3 scores. Found this little graphic on Twitter. Can't take credit that we made it or nothing. So, found it on Twitter. Shout out to the person.
Exactly. Shout out whoever made this.
I should probably go and try and give them credit. But I honestly don't know if I can find it. Listen, if I can find it throughout the show, I will absolutely give credit because, like I said, we certainly did not make this. Although, maybe, we might have to, CJ, Might have to start making some nice little graphics here and there. I found them, the Football Wave, at the Football WAV3. Shout out for the graphic.
Shout out Football Wave. Salute.
Listen, Cal, we don't get to your Dolphins because it is fins up right now. It really is, which doesn't make any sense if you look at every single stat. Still can't believe that. But we'll start off with that Thursday night football game that kicked off week 3, which was the Steelers at the Browns. Browns came out on top, 29-17. Listen, they're doing better than I thought. Like, realistically, they should be 3-0. I remember, CJ, when we thought that Deshaun was going to be out for the 6 games, I thought that, like, you go, 3-3, like, that would be great. Like, they should be 3-0 right now. Obviously, they had that complete meltdown against the Jets. And Jacoby Brissett is doing what he has to do. Like, he is doing what he's supposed to do. He's not losing the game for them, which is what you really want your backup quarterback to do, obviously. And, Amari looked really good in that game. Yeah, I think last week and then this week, they really said, all right, like, week 1, Amari didn't do anything. And they're like, okay, we traded for Amari Cooper. Like, we got to get him involved. Then he got like 20 targets week 2. And I think he had about 17 this game. Came away with a touchdown, had over 100 yards, I believe.
Yes.
So he did very well. David Njoku, animal. Looked very good in this game.
Start throwing him the ball.
You got to start throwing him the ball more. And then obviously, listen, we talk about a lot of people, and I feel like Nick Chubb never gets the love. Like, he's always put in the top 5. I feel like might have to start putting him top 1 because he's probably the best running back in the league right now. He can catch the ball, and he might be the best pure runner, him and Henry, pure runner, I would say, in football right now. And then you go over to the Steelers, man. It's telling you, those Kenny Pickett chants are going to start getting louder and louder. And listen, I don't know how much he fixes everything because I still think the offensive line is a problem. But I don't know if you saw it. I guess like the middle of the field for the Steelers is getting new grass or something, and it was just the sidelines. And they were like, well, I don't know why anybody's replacing the middle of the field anyway. The Steelers don't use it. And it's true. If you look at it, everything they throw is to the sideline. I don't think, and I'm being serious right now, which I couldn't believe.
Trubisky's scared to take risk.
Well, not even that, which is true. But I think I saw, and I could be completely wrong. It's very possible, and I might have read the graphic wrong, that none of the receivers have 20 yards yak.
That sounds about right.
Like not a single one of their receivers has over 20 yards after the catch. That's a problem. Like how does that even happen? So big win for the Browns. They go to 2-1. Obviously, you try to keep coasting until Deshaun comes back, then you let him take over. But they look pretty decent, and the Steelers, man, it's becoming a problem.
Browns 100% should be 3-0. They have a great run game. They know their system. They know what they want to do. We'll see what happens with Myles Garrett. I believe he got hurt. He got in that car accident, so prayers up to him.
Yes. Did you see the picture of the car?
I didn't get a chance to see that. But
the fact that he got I think he has like a strained bicep and like a couple lacerations or something. Talk about God bless, because he flipped a car like 2 times, I think. Looks pretty beat up, and he's a big dude. That was a little car. He was in a Porsche. So
yeah, man, so wow. So yeah, prayers up. Glad he's he's good. He doesn't have any major injuries. Big time factor for the Browns going forward. And yeah, like you said, that's their identity. They want to run the football. Nick Chubb, he's their guy. He's one of the best players in the NFL, one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL. He doesn't talk. He doesn't have like the big personality like some of these other guys that we see. But I mean, he kind of just fits the identity of the Browns, that dog pound, mindset, just go out there, ball out. And that's what he does. And he's phenomenal at his job. Kareem Hunt, as obviously the 1-2 punch is what they want to do. And you're absolutely right. Jacoby Brissett, that's what he is. He's just don't make mistakes. Don't make the mistakes that you made against the Jets. And you're 3-0 easily. No question about it. We talked about this with Deshaun's absence. We knew he was going to miss time, and every win is precious. So just keep the same identity going. It's really good to see that Amari Cooper finally got a good game here to start the season. He's a guy that, is talented. He puts up really good numbers, but sometimes like he fades. Like you don't like he looks like a 1, and then there's times where he kind of like acts like a 2. So but it was good that he was able to get it going on Thursday. Hopefully they could keep that going. Obviously defenses are going to try to game plan and take him away. So I get that as well. But it's up to Stefanski, to scheme up some things and get him in some better positions to succeed. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Pittsburgh, yeah, I mean the quarterback position is obviously the concern and obviously the big thing. George Pickens made a phenomenal catch, one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, that was a phenomenal catch.
Better than Odell?
Absolutely not. But
really? It was a great. I think it is.
No way. Odell caught it with three fingers, leaning back, PI for a touchdown on the sideline. Come on.
Here's my thing.
Not even close.
I agree. But he had the PI before he caught it. I think the defender was all over Pickens still. He's leaning back and sideways.
Nasty. Yeah.
I think I'm taking Pickens over that one, but I mean,
I get it.
Tomato to me.
It's I would still go Odell. I mean,
you're going tomato and apples here.
Yeah, but it's still very both healthy and good for you.
What kind of apples you into, CJ? I'm a big green apple Granny Smith guy.
Granny Smith, Golden Delicious, the yellow joints are definitely valid.
Oh, CJ, you got to remember, I worked in produce, baby. I know all the apples.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. I'm a fan of apples. I love apples, man. But yeah, Odell's catch is just unbelievable. Like I said, I mean, they put him on the map and made him a global superstar. Will it do it for Pickens? We'll see. It was Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. I just think all the situations you got to go OBJ there. It's in music. Yeah. So, but yeah, either way, Pickens made a great catch. If they can have a consistent quarterback that is willing to take chances, maybe he can get the ball a little bit more. I think he'd be a dynamic type of wide receiver. They always find why. I wish whoever scouts wide receivers over there, man, deserves a raise because he's done a pretty good job. Whoever's in that team, they've done a phenomenal job over the years of finding guys, and then they fit their system and they ball out. And I think Pickett could be one of those guys moving forward. Pickett should be the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? I mean, what else? The same thing you're going to ask for Trubisky, you're going to ask Pickett to do. Don't make mistakes, play complimentary football, don't turn the ball over. So I'd rather have my first round draft pick out there learning, growing, developing as a young quarterback, going up against some of these top defenses that he's going to see twice a year consecutively for the rest of his career, as opposed to a guy that's on a 2-year but really a 1-year deal. And we've kind of seen what he is already. He's a average to below average type quarterback. And he every situation, the situation around him has to be damn near perfect for him to play okay, not even great, just okay. At least Garoppolo, like the situation is good around him, he could play pretty good. Trubisky is like okay, so that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get these type of games. He's scared to take a risk. He's scared to throw the ball down the field. He's scared to trust Claypool. He has Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Freiermuth. I mean, it's not like they're deprived of offensive weapons. You have some pretty young guys that can make some plays. It's time to put Pickens in there. I understand Mike Tomlin. He's a veteran guy. They go with these old school coaches. They don't want to go with the rookie guy right away. They kind of do that elder statesman thing where they let the OG step in there first. But no, it's time to get Pickens in there. The defense is good. It's solid. Justin was good, brother. Glad you're doing well, bro. What's going on, man? Glad you pulled up, brother.
Put the rookie in.
Yeah, put the rookie in, man. It's time. I mean, what do they have to lose? They're the worst team in the division, even now without Deshaun in there.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and hopefully they don't rush TJ Watt back. There's no need to rush him back. Make sure he's 100% healthy. He has the torn pectoral muscle. Well, it's strained. It's not torn.
Yeah.
So they're saying like he could come back sooner than what the actual tear would be, which is obviously the entire season. So yeah, don't rush him back. I mean, he's your premier star on the team.
They're like 0-5 without him, too.
0-5 without him, a game changer. I mean, again, those are things that you bring to the table when it's time to get it back. Those type of stats, and that's exactly what he's done. He's a game changer. He's a game wrecker for opposing offenses. As we saw in Week 1 against the Bengals, went absolutely insane. So Steelers, they have a defense better than a rebuild defense, but their offense obviously is going to be a work in progress because of the guy they have in the center.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I hate the rushing rookies into everything, because especially the fact that if he fails right away, then all of a sudden he's a bust and he can't play, and then a year later you're looking for another quarterback. Like, I hate that. But
when was the last time we've seen that, though? It's been a while. Look, we thought they were going to do it with Hurts. They brought in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. We thought the same thing. We thought Tua was going to be done after next year. There's going to be somebody in. They brought in Reek and Waddle. So, I mean, Pickett should just have him go out there and play, man. I mean, what's the word? Okay, you lose. You're losing anyway.
I agree.
It's not like they're on the cusp of being the premier team in the division.
But you also have to agree too, because we saw it with Hurts, and I mean, saw it with Josh Allen, even Lamar. Like, if you're not good right away, everybody thinks you're terrible.
Yeah, but who cares? I mean, that's outside. That's outside noise. You know this. I know you're not. It's outside noise. It's outside noise. They're gonna think you're terrible. Again, like people thought Hurts was people thought Hurts was gonna be terrible. People thought too.
By the way, we gotta start patting ourselves on the back, brother.
It's like the offense is still built for Big Ben. If you're gonna keep Trubisky in there, then he should do what's best, like a West Coast style. Yeah, I mean, he was in a West Coast. That's a good point. He was in a West Coast style with the Bears. That's a great point, Justin. Shout out again for stopping by, bro. He was in that West Coast offense in Chicago, but he's just talent-wise, he's just not that guy. It doesn't matter what system it is. He doesn't have the talent to supersede the scheme on top of that.
That's what I would like. That's why my big thing with him was like in Chicago, everybody's like, Matt Nagy's so terrible. I'm like, that could be true, but Matt Nagy's also working with Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, they were both underwhelming. That
like Trubisky is just not a good quarterback to me at all.
He's a backup. That's fine.
He could be one of the best backups in the league. Truly.
Cooper Rush now.
Apparently.
Yeah, Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush 3-0 as a starter.
Sure, we're gonna get into that, man.
Dak Prescott might be in trouble.
That was an ugly game, but I learned a lot in that game. I can't wait to talk about that one, man.
Ooh, okay. Well, listen, we'll see what Pittsburgh does. Cleveland's off to a start that I'm sure that they're very happy with, besides that, terrible thing with the Jets. But we'll move on to the Saints and the Panthers game. Listen, didn't see this one coming. Didn't see it coming. I can't lie to you. I don't think, man, the Saints offense just doesn't look as good as I thought it would, especially with Michael Thomas coming back. And Jameis was playing very well last year before he got hurt. So I thought that, they could return to it. Yeah. But I guess not. You got Jarvis Landry there, who's been pretty solid, made that incredible catch. What was that, week 1 against the Falcons?
Right.
To set them up in field goal range. Chris Olave had, I believe, over 100 yards in this game. And they scored 14 points. Like, you just can't. You got to score. And I mean, Jameis, you look at it once again, and this is what I tried telling everybody. 25 of 41, 353 yards. Woo! Touchdown. Let's go. 2 interceptions. It's what he does. Listen, what Herm Edwards said it. No. It's not Herm Edwards. It was the coach for the Cardinals. They are who we thought they were.
Dennis Green, RIP.
Yes. Jameis is who everybody knows he is. I'm sorry. Like, listen, he'll have a good stretch. He'll have a good game. No, Jameis is not the guy. I remember, listen, shout out Caleb. Love my guy, Caleb. Yeah, I said he could win a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback.
A lot will have to be perfect around him.
Perfect ain't even the word. Vic, what's going on? King Midas,
James Connie Lombardi.
Jesus. Glad you're passing, make it to the round table dumpster fires. I've taken the liberty of hooking you up with a lazy boy. Yeah, I appreciate that. We're gonna get into our team.
Appreciate that furniture, man. We're right next to y'all now. Right next to you guys.
But you start looking at some of the stats too, though. Like, it's another one of those games where you're like, how did the Panthers win? And then you realize with the 2 interceptions, though, but like they basically tied in time of possession. It was 29 minutes and 50 seconds and 30 minutes and 10 seconds. So you basically tie there. But the Saints had more passing yards, more total yards. They averaged more yards per play. But they had the 2 interceptions, and they also fumbled. So 3 turnovers. There you go. Carolina rushed for 145 yards. McCaffrey looked pretty good, 25 for 108, 4.3 yards per carry. Not the greatest thing. Definitely not bad, though, I'll tell you that. And then
that's good considering that's all they could do.
Exactly. Laviska Shenault, two catches, 90 yards in a tub.
Yeah, nice screenplay. Took the screenplay to the crib. Yep.
Here's the thing I don't understand. DJ Moore, 1 catch for 2 yards? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I believe Matt Rule will turn this season around.
Whoa.
Yeah, Josh had a coming to Jesus moment because they gave Matt Rule the game ball. So he was like, listen, I got to just stop hating on him and hope for success.
I mean,
Josh had that coming to Jesus moment. But, hey, It hasn't looked pretty so far for the Panthers, but a win is a win. And for the Saints, you got to get some things figured out on offense. You got to make sure you take care of the ball. Might be difficult with Jameis. And listen, Devin White said it pretty well after that game against the Saints. We had Jameis our last year here. And what did he do? He went 30 for 30 picks. We knew he was going to give it to us. That's what he said. Former teammate of his. He said it, not me. So that's what Jameis is going to do. And your defense is going to have to play very well. When you have Lattimore on you, you try to catch more than one time. You're right. Marshawn Lattimore is a dog.
You're not dog.
Wrong. David Tepper said he'll be patient with him, so I will too. Oh, Josh. I'm sorry, brother. But yeah, is the Baker boy talking spit? I don't know. I don't think Baker's talking too much. Not after. I don't even think he did too much in this game. What did he do? 12 of 25, 170, and a touchdown. I mean, I guess you can talk if you really feel like it. But CJ, what'd you think?
Yeah, again, 2 teams with average quarterback play, and you're gonna get these type of games right here, guys. Panthers defense actually has been really good. The game they played against the Giants could have went right down to the wire. Baker would have had at least had one more drive. They could have put one more drive together. They would have beat the Giants. They could have beat the trying to think of the team. They could have beat the Browns. They struggled early in the first half. They came back, battled back. I think they came down to a game-winning field goal, if I'm not mistaken.
What was it?
50 plus, 50 something. Yeah, I don't know off top exactly, but it came down to a field goal late. So their defense is good. Obviously, that's Matt Rule's expertise. Okay, Luvu. Okay, I'll look out for that, bro.
Frankie
Facts.
Louvu, remember that name?
On the
All right.
Panthers. All right, definitely look out for him, bro. Yeah, so this is what the defense is their calling card, obviously, with Matt Rule. That's what he likes to do. And until they get a quarterback in there, I'm just gonna hope and pray that the offense just doesn't turn the ball over and looks good outside of Christian McCaffrey, because Baker Mayfield, he's not good, guys.
CJ saying remit in the nicest way possible. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to show, you're my guy, bro. I'm trying to show a little bit of love. But it's just offensively. And you know this. I think Sam Darnold will be in there this season. I don't think I don't think Baker's good enough to keep the entire job. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll come on here and say I'm wrong. But
I can't. I don't see it, because Sam Darnold is terrible though.
Yeah, but I don't think Baker's good enough to play all 17. Could they just go right?
Okay.
I mean, he's not. I mean, they're the same quarterback to me. They're the same type of quarterback. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. So I think that can they? And again, for the fact that you said DJ Moore only had one catch.
One catch for 2 yards.
One catch for 2 yards. He's your best wide receiver. It's unacceptable. Whoever the offense, I don't know the offensive coordinator's name is.
It's Ben McAdoo.
It is Ben McAdoo. That's right. And I mean, listen. I mean, he's been around, and he hasn't been the best play caller. But as a Panther, this is Justin. As a Panther fan, I'm honestly not looking for a playoff berth. I'm just looking for improvement. Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about when we covered the division. We said this was a developmental type team. Not wrong. Baker has not shown anything to give the staff confidence in him. Exactly.
Yeah, but
exactly.
But Sam showed last year that he can't play. It's like, what do you gain by putting him back in?
I mean, again, like Justin just said, it's like, does it really matter? They're not. I mean, both of them are not that good. And if Baker starts, selling games as opposed to just playing okay, then
you know what I realized my problem with Baker is?
They're going to put Darnold in there.
I think, and I talked about this yesterday with Josh on Gen Z. I think he thinks he's way more athletic than he actually is. Like, he thoroughly enjoys running around the pocket and trying to escape and outrun a defender for a first down. Like, the amount of times I've seen him do that is unbelievable. My guy, you are not Lamar. You're not even Justin Herbert. Fast, not even talent-wise, fast-wise. Right. You can't do that. And I feel like every other play is trying to escape a tackle and run for a first down.
Yeah, he's not the tallest guy, so he kind of has to roll out a little bit and kind of see the field better. It's kind of like Kyler and Russell Wilson, that's why you see those guys kind of do a lot of improv and roll around. He's not great when it comes to making anticipatory throws, so that's his problem. If he were better at that, like a Tua, that's what Tua's calling card was at Bama. He did a great job of doing that, getting the ball to those guys, Smith, Waddle, Cooper, everybody. It doesn't help if we have a young line and Baker has more batted balls in the NFL. Exactly. Again, height. I would say he's 6 foot tall. He's not the tallest guy, so he has to roll around and make some plays. Maybe I want to see Ben McAdoo maybe call some plays and get him moving around a little bit, so maybe he could see the field a little bit better. But again, like I said, DJ Moore only getting one catch in a 60-minute ball game. He's your best outside weapon. Is sad. I know the Saints defense is excellent. They have one of the best defenses in the league, but you still got to get your guys the football some way, somehow. That's why you that's why you have an entire week to game plan for reasons like that. And then for the Saints, I completely agree with what you're saying. The Saints, I thought they'd be a little better right now. It's still very early. I believe they're 1-2 right now as it stands.
Yep.
Jameis doesn't look 100%. They was talking about he has 3 fractures in his back. A knee issue. So it doesn't seem to be all, and then obviously just came off the ACL last year. So it doesn't seem to be all the way there from a health standpoint. I don't see how that's going to get better as the season wanes, because he's going to continue to take more shots. And also he's also missing Sean Payton. Sean Payton is one of the best play callers in NFL history. Did a great job. Him and Drew Brees put up a lot of offensive stats that some might not be broken in terms of the 5,000-yard type of seasons that Brees and Peyton put up in certain years. So, not having that guy in your helmet telling you certain things, telling you what to look for. It's definitely a game changer. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not pretty at the moment. CJ, light die over there?
Yeah, light went out, man. What's up, bro?
Oh man. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, Justin, what you got. Josh, you said he also thinks that DJ is 6'8". Yeah, I have seen some clips of some overthrows. Definitely not exactly what you want to see over there. The only real reason we was in all 3 games this year is because the defense. Bengals only had 1 good quarter. Yeah, that fourth quarter
against the Browns. That was
that fourth quarter against the Browns was his best one. Sean Payton will replace Matt Rule in 2028.
2028.
You got a lot more years of suffering then, huh?
I think he might be the Cowboys head coach, man, by 2024.
I think 2023, honestly. I think they get bounced early in the playoffs again like they do every year. They fire McCarthy. Sean Payton.
Very possible. Very possible.
All right, we'll move on, though, to CJ, I'm not going to lie. A game that I never one time entered my screen. Not one time. The Texans at the Chicago Bears. But, hey, Chicago wins again? 2-1 to start this season? Okay. I mean, listen, it is the Texans. So let's not, get ahead of ourselves here and act like they beat somebody crazy. And week 1, they did play in a monsoon against Trey Lance, who was starting, was that his second overall start of his career? Or third? Third?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't exactly say they went out and beat anybody crazy. But, hey, 2 wins, 2 wins. They don't take away wins. Yeah, they don't take away wins. So they end up winning this one. Just looking at some stats here. Here's my thing, which is very confusing. It's a passing league, and they do run the ball very well. I mean, Khalil Herbert. You see this? See this, CJ? 20 carries, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that man had a game. Obviously, he had a big game because David Montgomery ended up getting hurt in this one. So it looks like it will be Khalil Herbert moving forward. I don't know what the injury was, to be exact, but yeah, field some weapons. It's depressing watching that team run routes, and I believe they just put is Pringle on the Bears?
Yes. Yeah.
I believe he's hurt. Put him on the IR maybe. But I mean, Herbert was 8 for 17. 17 pass plays like that, and the worst part is he had 2 interceptions. So it's obviously not a pass happy team. It does make sense, though. I believe they have one of the worst ranked offensive lines in the entire league. They have definitely the worst receiving core in the league. So you're obviously not going to pass too much, but I mean, I don't know how you're determining if Justin Fields is good or not. Like, if you're not going to throw the ball, and listen, it's only a second season, so they're excuse me, a couple years away from having to pick up his option. But you're going to have to figure out eventually, if this dude can actually play. And I guess maybe that happens when they finally get him a wide receiver. But you're going to have to figure that out. And then, I was kind of a fan of Dougie Davis-Mills. But he certainly hasn't been playing like he did last year. 245, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Yeah, they're not a good team either. But hey, a win's a win for the Bears. Congrats.
Yeah, these first 3 games that we're looking at right here for our listeners again, Steelers, Browns, Saints, Panthers, and Texans and the Bears. For the Texans and the Bears, they have younger quarterbacks. So, I just want to be careful in what I say, but right now they're developing and they're not in the great situation where they're young but have really good pieces and structure around them. Both organizations have made, big time transitions over the last 2 years or so. So, these quarterbacks are definitely in a tough spot. You just hope they stay healthy. You definitely have to put an offensive line around Justin Fields if that's your guy. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you don't put an offensive line around your young quarterback. You're just having him out there run around. Thank God that he's actually athletic, that he can run around for his life and make some plays, because you just standing in the pocket getting rocked. That does a lot to your mental. That's a lot to your development as well. So interested. I'm going to be looking at the Bears and see how they do some things and going forward. But yeah, they do need to work on the O-line. They do need to work on their outside weapons and their receivers if they really want to see Justin Fields at his max potential. I mean, that's just common sense. So we'll see what happens with that. Their defense is still really good. Roquan Smith, he held in. He didn't make it a big deal. He stayed. He's going to get his money regardless. He's an exceptional linebacker, one of the best in the NFL. Whether it's from Chicago or whether it's from another team, he's going to get paid. So, I think he's a great player, and they're 2-1 right now. But there's definitely some holes on that team that they need to address. But definitely, good win for them. And then for the Texans again, a developmental type team. They're looking at next year and the following year's draft to try to accumulate some talent, especially on the outside. And I don't know what's the future for Davis Mills. I don't know. Again, it's really early. They don't have a lot around him. Again, I like Brandon Cooks. I like some of those other guys, but I don't know if he's the guy. And I think, come draft time, if there's a guy out there that's in the draft, they're going to definitely pull the trigger and try to get that guy. So, good win by the Bears. They're home field advantage. That Soldier Field. I mean, those fans, they're going to go crazy, and they got it done. But I just think against good teams, they're going to struggle just because of the lack of talent.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a rough time for both of them. Probably going to be a rough time.
Sure.
We move on though to me, upset of the week. Obviously, I would say. Chiefs go and visit the Colts. The Colts were off to a terrible start. They were 0-1-1. They ended up tying with the Texans week 1. They didn't look good in any of their games. Shaq Leonard still isn't back, so. Obviously the defense, isn't what they potentially could be. And they end up, of course, because it's the NFL, beating the Chiefs 20-17. Unfreaking believable. On one of the last plays of the game, obviously, Matt Ryan threw it over the middle. And for his second touchdown of the day, I can't even find this man's name on here. It was a tight end. Do you remember his name?
Oh, he's a young guy. I'm blanking on his name. He's a younger guy. I think it's a guy they just picked up. I forgot his name.
Is it Woods?
It might be Woods. Talented young tight end, man. Really good catch.
He's huge.
Yeah, we'll get the name on we'll get the tight end's name soon.
On NFL.com, they don't even have this man listed. Like as a receiving target, which doesn't make any sense to me because he caught both of the touchdowns, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. He's like really off the street type.
So, but yeah, he catches a touchdown over the middle, and then listen, 20 seconds left. We saw what the Chiefs did against the Bills with 12 seconds, I believe it was, and they still had, I think, 3 timeouts. So I was saying, oh God, okay, the Chiefs might go down here, kick a field goal, get into overtime, and then you see what happens. But Mahomes throws one over the middle, gets tipped by Gilmore, I believe it is, and then it ended up getting intercepted. Colts obviously need out, and they win the game. And, yeah, the Chiefs just looked bad. Like this is one of the games that, maybe you go into thinking, yeah, it's the Colts. Have you seen how they played so far? We're going to beat them by 45. And, also throughout the season, there are times in the year that Mahomes gets into like a little bit of a mechanical slide, and the Chiefs play some bad football, and you wonder if maybe it just started earlier this year. So, and if this is the time that he's in his little slide, because it does seem to happen about once a year. Last year didn't they lose like 3 games in a row or something? I thought they lost, and it was looking real bad in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So obviously, if this is that little mechanical slide that he goes on, you got to start taking advantage now. I can't remember off the top of my head who they're playing next and everything like that. But, this could be your time to try and take it. Actually, I think they play the Bucs next on Sunday Night Football now that I think about it. So it could be their time to take advantage. And, just watching some ESPN, I was listening to Dan Orlovsky, who probably one of the happiest people in America that Jimmy G did what he did. We'll get to that as well. He said that this was the first game you could notice Tyreek not being there because the Colts play a lot of 3 coverage, cover 3, and he showed a bunch of clips where, Hill would just run a crossing route, sit in that little zone that the cover 3 gives up. And then he took 160 yards last year against a team that was running cover 3. And they don't have anybody that can do that anymore. So obviously, maybe this was the first game where it was finally like, damn, I don't have that ultimate weapon. Because, so even in some of those games where Mahomes hasn't looked so good, they have had Tyreek that, he has a good play and it kind of erases, all the bad things that they did up to that point. They went for a fake field goal in this game that didn't end up working. They just didn't play very well. Not that the Colts played exceptionally well on offense. Obviously, they only scored 20 points. But listen, that defense, you put some respect on them. They got some names over there, and especially when Shaq Leonard comes back, and if he can play the way he played before. Obviously, he has a back injury, so you never know how those things turn out. But I mean, you got Gilmore, you got Kenny Moore. Obviously, DeForest Buckner is over there. When you get Shaq Leonard back, he's there. So they got some big time names over there on that defense, and especially holding the Chiefs to just 17 points. And we saw what they did the first 2 weeks of the season. They were absolutely killing people. So good on them. But yeah, just one of those weird games in the NFL where you're like, I know the Chiefs are going to go in there and blow them out by 40, and then all of a sudden they end up losing the game.
Yeah, this was a must-win for the Indianapolis Colts. They had to come out and win this game. They're now 1-1-1 in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. And I think back when I think Chiefs Colts, I think about that game. I think it was maybe about 6-7 years ago with Andrew Luck, where they came back. It might have been 8 years ago now. They were down against the Chiefs, and they came back and won the game.
In the playoffs, right?
In the playoffs, yeah. That was a legendary game. I think I always think about that game when I see Chiefs Colts. But for present day, yeah, Matt Ryan is over the hill. He's not that guy.
So you're saying my hot take of him maybe having the best season of his career isn't going to happen?
Nah, it's not going to happen, brother. I'm sorry. They don't have Julio Jones over there. They don't have Roddy White, no Tony Gonzalez. Jonathan Taylor is excellent, but that's about it. And, and Matt Ryan, he's just not that guy. He's not a guy that could lead you to the playoffs anymore. He's just not. And they're going to have these type of games where the defense is going to have to win these type of games for them. And that's what they did on Sunday. I think the Chiefs probably went in with a mindset similar to what you just said. Because this team's 0-1, 0-1, like 0-1-1. Like let's go get this. Let's go get this W. And they kind of laid down. They played a little lackadaisical, and they took the L. You made a great point. You said about Dan Orlovsky and how defenses are playing the Chiefs now. Yeah, you can't play cover 2. Now you could mix it up. You could play some zone. You could blitz. You could play one high. You could bring one in the box. Like you could do a multitude of things now defensively against the Chiefs because you don't have that weapon and a threat that could stretch the field like Tyreek Hill on your roster anymore. Complete game changer. So who's going to be that guy that's going to step up and obviously not replace Tyreek Hill, but at least make enough plays to where defenses could change things up and you have more of an advantage on the field. We don't know. They talked about Sky Moore, MVS, Juju Smith-Schuster. Those guys are going to have to really answer the call throughout this season if they want to continue to have success. Obviously, they're going to just double up and chip and shade over to Travis Kelce because obviously he's their best weapon right now. They still don't have an elite run game. I like Edwards-Helaire. He's a nice player, but to me, he's more of a third down back as opposed to a bell cow type running back.
I think he had like 7 carries for 0 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, he's to me, I don't think he's a every down back. He can make plays here and there. He's a good player, but they need a real running back that can really take the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And really change the game and bring some more complementary to their offense. I saw Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy kind of get into it. People made it a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. It happens all the time. When you're in a relationship, not just man and woman, just friends and people, you're gonna have arguments here and there. It happens all the time as long as you respect each other and as long as the respect is there. you experience that, and then you just live and learn. So then obviously that's the media. That's what they do. They magnify everything, but I didn't see it as that much of a big deal. But those guys on the outside do have to step up for the Chiefs. They just have to. I mean, they're going to have to make some plays. So we'll see as the season goes forward who's going to be those guys for Kansas City. So yeah, again, much needed win for the Colts, and then for the Chiefs. I mean, I feel like they're in a good spot because what we thought it was a elite division, kind of looking a little different.
They're looking real bleak right now.
On paper, you can put a lot on. You can put a lot on paper.
Paper is a crazy, crazy thing. What many people thought would be the game of the week, it ended up being a pretty solid game, but definitely not how I thought it was going to go. I thought this was going to be, higher scoring to say the least, but a lot of low scoring games this week. If you look at the graphic we have up right now, not too. I mean, the Ravens hit 30, and that's it. And in today's NFL, 30 points I feel like is like the new 25 or something like that. New 21 seems like. But we go over to the Bills. They traveled down to Miami. Miami ended up getting the win. Now, this is the game that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you look at the total stats for both teams in this game, you literally just cannot figure out how the Bills did not absolutely destroy them. I mean, you go over to the stats. Why does NFL.com not have total yards? I know they had like 450 total yards. I think Miami had like 200 something, and I think the Bills had 400 something. I believe it was. But yeah, look, passing yards 382 to 171, rushing yards 115 to 41. Buffalo did have that fumble. Nobody threw an interception. The Bills were 61% on third down. So they were even good on third down and had 40 minutes time of possession compared to the Dolphins 19. Josh Allen had 400 yards, threw the ball 63 times though. Wow. 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devin Singletary actually led them with 78 yards on 9 catches. Isaiah McKenzie was 7 for 76 and a touchdown. Diggs 74 yards. But it was a weird game. You go to the end of the half and the Bills are trying to clock it, kick a field goal. I think at that point it would have put them up or tied the score. I can't exactly remember. But they go for the spike, and it's a new center apparently. I didn't know that the old center had gotten hurt. So I believe he did start the game, but hey, they're not under center very much. If you look at the Bills, they're a big shotgun team. So you're finally under center. Josh Allen fumbles the snap a little bit, then throws it to Diggs, and everybody kind of looks and it's like, what are you doing? But then you realize he actually fumbled the snap. Almost was a pick six, by the way. Very, very close to being a pick six. So Josh Allen was lucky in that regard. So they fail on the opportunity there. Then you go to the end of the game where things got very, very interesting. And I kind of want to save the Tua thing for after, CJ, because I'm really curious how you feel about his whole situation. But you go to the end of the game where things got real interesting. Bills are going down 4th and goal. Josh Allen has a player, I would say, pretty open in the end zone or at the 1 yard line, could have reached across very easily. And he kind of just spiked the ball into the ground, honestly, threw it about 2-3 yards short of him. So they end up not getting it. But now the Dolphins are on their 1 yard line. They can't gain any yards. They punt on 4th down with like a minute 20, I want to say, left. And the punter kicks it off the protector's butt, right off the cheeks, right out of the back of the end zone, ends up being a safety. That puts the Bills that made the score 21-19. So now, listen, all you need is a field goal. You win the game. You win the game. And they get the punt. They go down the field a little bit. And on the last play, they throw a ball. McKenzie's trying to get out of bounds, I believe, which they threw it over the middle without having any timeouts. And then McKenzie is trying to get out of bounds. And I don't know, maybe he just didn't think if he kept running the way he was running, he was going to be able to make it. But he cuts it back up the field instead of continuing to try to get out of bounds, which I didn't really understand. I haven't seen anybody really kill him for it. So maybe I'm just wrong and thinking that he could have got out of bounds, but I thought he could have. And then at least maybe you try and throw like that quick out and then you go for the field goal, but whatever. Bills run up to the line, try and spike it, and much like the Cowboys in that playoff game last year, did not get the spike off in time. Ken Dorsey has an absolute meltdown in the box.
Yeah.
Great video there.
So,
Obviously, you see Josh Allen was very upset as well. But yeah, Dolphins end up winning this game. They're 3-0, leading the division right now. Now, listen, I thought people obviously thought the Dolphins were going to be improved. I don't know if everybody thought they were going to be 3-0 and leading this division at this point. But yeah, CJ, how did you see this game?
Bills had every opportunity. The way you just broke the game down and explained everything that happened. Bills definitely had an opportunity to win this game. I completely agree with you. I felt like Isaiah McKenzie should have just went to the sideline and so they could have some time. But I feel like that little cut that he did took precious seconds off the clock, and you just can't afford to do that. And it cost them an opportunity to win the game. Unfortunate, but they had other opportunities. Like you said, they had 40 minutes of possession and a bunch of stats that definitely favored it on their side. But Miami's defense stayed true. They only held them really only 19 points because obviously it was the safety that put it to 17 points.
Yeah.
So really it was because the safety led to the 2 points for Buffalo. So Tua, he didn't have the game he had against Baltimore, but he was solid. He had a nice throw to Waddle. It was a big time throw right in the breadbasket. Made a big play. Like I said, the guy's tough. He's tough. I don't know why people hated on him so much. I didn't really understand it. He's not like a personality to where people wouldn't like him or may not like him. Maybe it's because Burrow and Herbert obviously are better than him. So, but again, that to me that doesn't give a reason for somebody to hate on Tua.
I always had injury concerns, but I don't think I ever hated on him.
No, yeah. I never said that. I never said you, but I'm just saying.
No. I know. I'm just saying.
Like anytime he throws the ball, it's like underthrow. Like it's
that I didn't really understand either.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like I just feel like he just came into the league. He got hurt. He injured his hip. He battled back, and he won a national championship. Like I didn't understand like what it was that triggered people to the point where they hate it. I don't know. But anyways, they're 3-0, like you said, and they're playing complimentary football. Just like I've called them the Miami 49ers or the San Francisco Dolphins, however you want to call them. They play the same way. They run the football, they play defense, and their quarterback may not be all world, but he does just enough for them to win these football games. And that style took the 49ers to a Super Bowl and 2 NFC Conference Championship game appearances. So it works. It works in this league. They have 2 elite guys on the outside. Tyreek Hill didn't have a spectacular game like he had in week 2, but when he's out there, you still have to account for him. And they got this W, a much needed W. They're 2-0 in the division right now. I think Buffalo's still really good. I think they're going to beat Miami when Miami goes to Buffalo. I think it'll be 1-1. I'll definitely see a split there between those 2 teams. But yeah, good, much needed win for the Dolphins, gives them some confidence. And for Buffalo, just situationally could be better down the stretch. We saw situationally down the stretch it wasn't great against the Chiefs last year. So those are things they need to clean up. Hopefully they clean those things up now as opposed to December, January.
And then, even with the Bills too, like I don't think you really ever look at the bright side when you lose, but I guess as fans you kind of can. So for the Bills fans, listen, you didn't have Poyer in this game. You didn't have Hyde. You're not going to have Hyde the rest of the season. He's unfortunately on IR. He'll be done for the season, but you didn't have Poyer. You didn't have White in this game. I don't think you had Oliver in this game. Like there were a lot of backup players on that defense, and a lot of them were young kids too. Not like backup veterans. Like they were a lot of young kids. So you can look at that's as the bright side, I guess. But that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Switching back over to the Dolphins. I've watched that video a couple times. I don't know how Tua gets back into that game. I and listen, I understand like maybe he did pass a concussion protocol because it's not in the team's hand anymore. It is an independent uh, neurologist, I guess it
Yeah.
is,
Yep.
that gives them the concussion testing, in the blue tent or in the locker room. And if they clears him, he can come back in. But I find it suspicious. I'll just say, just suspicious at least, that he goes out and they list as a head injury, and then after the game, oh no, it was his back. I mean, I don't know how you mix that one up. Like if you say it was a knee and then you go, oh no, sorry, it was like an ankle. At least you're on the same portion of the body.
Money
Like
talks, man.
that is an interesting development to say the least. And
Money
then
talks. Money talks, bro.
What you think, huh?
Yeah, money talks, bro. Listen, man, you're telling me they're not having no type of conversation with that neurologist. Come on.
NFLPA is investigating.
Sure, as they should. They're going to investigate. A lot of things are said for PR reasons. We know this, bro. And I just think I thought it was concussion. I thought he'd be out. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, he's not coming back for the game. And they said he's coming back. I was like, okay, well, I mean, okay. I'm not surprised. Then they said it was his back. I don't know. So we'll see what the conclusion is when if there is one down the road for that. But it helped spark them get that W though. Him coming back in the game. Oh, yeah, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, I talked to Big Vic on my B-Day, man. Happy that he's stopping by, collabing with your boy and watching. Salute.
Hey, shout out Pops, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, you look at that video and this man is stumbling like he just got done on a bar crawl during St. Patrick's Day. Like that is
he should have just stayed on one knee and just relaxed. I get you want to try to get up and
gets up, falls over, gets up again, basically crashes into his lineman so his lineman can hold him up. I mean, I don't know how that turned into a back injury. So I'm real interested to see what the PA ends up finding out in this little investigation that they're going to do here. But that's the other thing too. Like I don't know how extensive the concussion protocol has gotten since he's retired from the league, and I don't even remember when Emmanuel Acho retired because I'm also going to be real. I don't remember him actually playing in the league. I just remember him. I just know him because of him on TV. But I saw a video that he made, and he said, "Listen, I got a really bad concussion. They asked me who the president was and what day it was, and he was like, "Listen, I've known the president for the last 3 years." And I'm playing a day game. What other day would it be besides Sunday? So he answered those two questions pretty easily, got back into the game, played the rest of the game, remembers that, and then he said he drove home, and when he got into his development, he had no idea what house he lived in. He didn't know where he was. So it's maybe the lasting effects of that as well, but that is I saw him get back into that game. And I was shocked to say the least. Like that was something. That was something.
Yeah, I just feel like he wants to. I don't know what happened. I don't know all the details that happened, but he wants to be in the game. He's been out, like you talked about. It's kind of that injury stigma that's on him right now. I don't know the questions that are asked in these concussion protocols. That's something they maybe want to publicized so people can have a better understanding of what they're doing. They've kind of kept that private over the years, so of course it's going to raise some questions as to what's really going on and what's the severity of the issue when that situation presents itself. So maybe this sheds a light on this and it brings it to a different discussion may need to be had in terms of what's being said between doctor and player in order for them to get back in the game and what's going on. So we'll see what happens, but it's definitely scary. Glad that he's good. today. I mean, like you said, lasting effects. We don't know what's going to happen down the road, but I'm glad that he's, well right now.
Yeah. Definitely was an interesting thing to see during the game and then the reaction on Twitter as well. By the way, CJ, near and dear to our heart, the Yankees won. They're officially AL East champions, baby.
Let's get it.
But we'll move on to the Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. I really do see myself pulling for the Lions a lot more than I thought I would. I thoroughly love this team. The Vikings end up coming out on top 28-24. Lions started out how they got up to a 14-0 lead in the second quarter. Minnesota came back, tied it up going into the half. Then Detroit comes out again, scores 10 points in the third quarter. So they're up by 10. And then they lay a goose egg in the fourth and let Minnesota come back and score 14 and end up with that 28-24 win. I think Kirk threw a touchdown pass with about 50 seconds left in the game. So 24-40. Yep. 24-41, 260, 2 touchdowns for Kirk. Dalvin Cook, 17 for 96 and a touchdown. But some big running back news did come out of this game for both teams in that Dalvin Cook, I believe, like his shoulder popped out or something like that. And I think they said it happened to him last year as well. And it's kind of a pain thing, but he should miss like a week or two maybe. And then, you go over to Detroit, and obviously their star running back is DeAndre Swift. He had 7 carries for 31 yards in this game. But Dan Campbell came out after the game and said that, I think he's been dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury. So they're going to sit him, it looks like, for the next 2 weeks, kind of let him recover from that injury. And listen, I guess if you're going to sit him, having Jamal Williams as your backup is not the worst thing in the world, because he had 20 carries, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the game. I know St. Brown got hurt for a little bit in this game, but he came back. He had 6 for 73, so he's all right. But, yeah, I mean, I think everybody knew that the Lions were going to be the greatest team in the world, but there's like such an obvious improvement in this team from even last year where they lost some close games. But like this year, you can really see like they're going to win some games. Like this is not your 3-13 going to have the second pick in the draft Lions. I mean, I guess anything can happen, but at least at this moment, it does not look like they're going to end up being that team. And then the Vikings, a nice bounce back win. Obviously, they got smacked on Monday Night Football against the Eagles, which I can't wait to talk about the Eagles, by the way. But they come back. Obviously, they have a nice game. Like I said, Kirk leads them to that touchdown at the end of the game. And I guess the only thing for them is, there's a whole lot of talk. Justin Jefferson going into this season. And he got locked up against Darius Slay against the Eagles. And then even in this game, 3 catches for 14 yards. Like, yes, you still win the game. I understand. But this is one of those situations where, like, you kind of talk about, like, how does your best player have 3 catches? Like we said it with DJ Moore with 1 catch and 2 yards. How does he only have 3 catches for 14 yards? Like, how does that happen? So, a little interesting there. But, yeah, how'd you feel about this one?
I agree with Detroit. They show a lot of fight, a lot of perseverance in how they play. Speaks of their identity as a team. I just wanted to see how they play. This is I want to see how they play type team for the Detroit Lions. I think going forward, once they find their franchise quarterback, hopefully sooner than later, then we could see some really special things in Detroit. But they should have won this game, and they easily should have won this game. They had, like you said, 2 possession leads at 2 different points in this game against a Minnesota Viking team, and you were on the road. That would have been a big time dub for the Lions. But again, they're still young, they're still inexperienced. So you need to learn from these type of wins right here. You need to learn how to close. You need to learn how to put teams away. I think you could do that with a good quarterback. When you have a mid-level average type quarterback, sometimes that opposing quarterback could get a little bit more possessions and try to put some points on the board for them. So that's what they need. They need a quarterback that can close the show. And until they get that, they're going to have these type of losses going forward. Minnesota, big win by them. They persevered. They fought back, like you said. I mean, again, they're just a team that they're an up and down team. They're an up and down team because they have an up and down quarterback. So until that changes, it's pretty much that's what we're going to get from the Minnesota Vikings. I don't understand, like 14 yards for your best player on the team. You have the whole week to scheme, come up with things, and find different type of holes and weaknesses in your opposing team's defense, and make sure how do I get 18 involved in this game right away, get him into a rhythm, let him get a couple catches, and then later on in the game, he's confident, then you give him the ball, just give him the ball in spurts and moments. Obviously, if he's open, you sling the rock to your guy. But you want to have them get some confidence. I know they got the W, but just little things like that is something they need to work on. Again, they have a rookie head coach as well, so definitely those are some improvements that he's going to have to work on as a young head coach. But yeah, they got the dub. They fought. They persevered in front of their fans, and that's what you want if you're a fan of a football team. You want your team to fight hard, show effort, especially on the home field.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not fair to compare because everybody does say how big of an offensive genius that Sean McVay is.
Yeah.
But, like, you will never see a game like this from Cooper Kupp. And like, I think it's unanimous that he's the best wide receiver in the league. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know Devontae Adams is very good. I know Jefferson's very good. Man just won the Triple Crown and had the most yards after the catch last year. Sorry, he's my number one wide receiver right now. But, like, I feel like this man has everybody knows Cooper Kupp is getting the football. Like, he's going to have 15 targets a game no matter what. And he's open on a lot of them. Like, I guess, like, how difficult it really is to scheme, because the Rams certainly don't have a problem doing it. And like I said, maybe it's not fair because everybody knows that McVay is this boy genius, unbelievable offensive coach. So maybe he's just better at it than everybody else. But you got to try and scheme your players open more than this. I mean, and we'll even get to the Raiders. Like, Devontae, I think, only had 3 or 4 catches in that game too. Like, how are you not getting your best players the football? It doesn't. And listen, I'm some idiot talking on the internet right now, so obviously it's very difficult. But you look at other teams and what they do. Like, they always ended up getting Tyreek open with the Chiefs. He was always doing some motions or things like that, or pick plays and try and get people open. Like, to see some of these very talented receivers just not get the football as much as I think a lot of people thought they would is shocking to me sometimes. It really, really is. But
I agree. Again, well, two things with that is Cooper Kupp had a phenomenal year last year, but Matthew Stafford's pretty good, and Kirk Cousins is good, but he's not elite, and that plays a factor into your play calling.
yeah,
You could definitely be much more aggressive if you have a guy on the center that's extremely talented. I think Stafford is really talented. So that's one factor, and then again, he's still a young guy. As a head coach, so he's going to learn. But it's just something to look for. It's not a take where it's like, oh, this is how it's going to be for the entire year. But it's just something like, get these guys going. You want to get these W's. They've been in these games, some of these games outside of Philadelphia. They have talent. I always looked at this team like they have some really good. They always have talented players, but they're just missing something, and obviously that something is an elite quarterback.
yeah, it certainly is. All right, CJ, let's get depressed for a second. We'll talked about our boys, Ravens and the Pats.
Right.
Ravens come out with a 37-26 victory. CJ, looks like Mr. Mack suffered a pretty severe high ankle sprain. That's what they're calling it right now. And to make it even better, I guess the Patriots and Mac Jones disagree on how to move forward with. The Patriots think he come back in like 4 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks or something like that. Mac thinks it's more of like 6 to 8. He wants to go get a second opinion, everything, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But yeah, season's over. Go 2-15. Get CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, whatever it is, which I don't think they would do anyway because I feel like Bill just wouldn't do it. He'll end up drafting Will Anderson if we ended up getting the first pick somehow. And yeah, just tank and be a terrible team, get a quarterback, and we move on. I'm done with Mac, especially with the 3 interceptions again. Listen, understand this whole sophomore slump thing, but I don't know how big of a slump you got to be in to just throw the worst interceptions week after week. The Patriots get the ball back. They're going down to tie the game. He's getting chased out of the pocket, which you're not athletic enough to do anyway, my guy. Throw the ball away, but no. He throws it up into the end zone, ends up getting intercepted. There you go. Game's over. Game's over. 3 interceptions in this game. What are you doing? They finally figured out Devontae Parker. Maybe shouldn't only be able to catch jump balls. Like, maybe you give him a crossing route over the middle like they did about 45 times, it seemed like. And I think his first 3 catches were for 20 plus yards. So they finally figured that out a little bit. But yeah, I have zero faith, zilch, none, nada, in the rest of this season. Especially and listen, I don't even think Mac is that great anyway, but especially with Brian Hoyer. And honestly, for my 2 cents, do not start Brian Hoyer. I know what Brian Hoyer is. I know you probably want to win games, Bill. I don't care what you want really right now. Bailey Zappi, and at least, but listen, maybe this is our new Tom Brady. Our starter got hurt. Bailey Zappi comes in, throws 15 touchdowns, no interceptions in the games. Mac is gone. We have a new quarterback. Do not give me. I'm not watching Brian Hoyer. I'm not doing it. Can't do it, CJ.
So before I dive into the page, everything you said, I completely agree with.
And Lamar's a god at the moment. Right, by the way, I will give the credit. Let me stop there. Let me give the credit.
That's where I wanted to start. Lamar Jackson is one of the most special players we've ever seen. Everybody that's watched this show or listens to the show, we all love football, and what this guy's doing right now in the league, what he's been doing ever since he's got the opportunity to take the reins and be the starting quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens has been nothing short of special. 39-13 as a starter. 39-13 as a starter, and this man does not get a long-term, multi-year, $200+ million guaranteed contract.
It's a bold strategy.
That is without a number 1 wide receiver, no Pro Bowl wide receivers, no All-Pro wide receivers, no All-Pro running backs, no Pro Bowl running backs, 1 elite offensive skilled position player on that team. 39-13 as a starter, and this man does not get no off the field issues, nothing. Clean. I don't get it. Get comfortable, guys. It's over. I'm gonna get into the Patriots, but I'm really trying to give this man his flowers because he deserves it. He's one of the most special quarterbacks we've ever seen, and he deserves every penny he's gonna get. I don't understand the philosophy of the Baltimore Ravens with that. Doesn't make any sense at all. You should give him every single dollar that he asked for. He's completely brought your team back to prominence after mid-years of Joe Flacco after the Super Bowl year in 2012. He brought an MVP there at 22 years old. He's still 24 years of age. I don't get it. I really don't understand how they couldn't get a contract deal done with Lamar Jackson. I'm not trying to hear he's representing himself, and I'm not trying to hear all that, man. You get that deal done. Like I said, I'm gonna say this one with 39-13 as a starter. If you put any other quarterback with that starting record at 24 years old, they're getting a multi-year deal. It's playing with an MVP, almost 40, 30 games above 500 as a starter. Go to the playoffs every year since you've been a starter, winning divisions. Like, what am I like? What are we missing here, man? Like, no, seriously, what are we missing here? I don't get it. Tell me, am
CJ,
I
I'll
missing
say
something?
this. I'll say this. You said
Can't be
earlier
missing.
in the show. Actually, now that I forgot. So something about someone proving you wrong. Who was it? No. You said if Baker plays the whole year, you'll come on and say you're
right.
wrong, whatever. Blah, blah. Listen, Lamar's going to play this way the whole year. This is the best I've ever seen Lamar play. And listen, and I don't think listen, people call me a Lamar hater. I don't think I've ever really been a Lamar hater. I think I've just not been in absolute fatuation, head over heels love with him like everybody else has from the beginning. But listen, if he's going to play like this the rest of the year, yeah, I'll get there because I believe I saw something that 88% of his throws are coming from inside the pocket. So it's not even that he's, running around. So obviously that last little part that I was always a little bit concerned about was that he just wasn't a great thrower. I still don't think I'm wrong on that. I don't think he was a great thrower the first couple of years. And now it's looking real different. It's looking real different. And obviously we saw that can improve because Josh Allen those first 2 years, not very good at football. Wasn't very good. And against Stephon Diggs turns into an MVP candidate. But listen, Lamar play this way.
I don't want to
touchdowns. I think they have the top offense in the league, CJ. And literally the stats, he's accounted for 89% of their offense.
I don't want to say he was
tied with McCaffrey.
Bro, what we're watching right now, we can. And I put a story up with LeBron in year 19, averaging 38 and 6 in year 19. What we're watching right now from this guy, man, is really something special. I just really feel like we need to emphasize that. If we're not gonna do it, if somebody's not gonna do it on their show, we're gonna do it on this show because this guy could easily get 300, 100 every single game, 300 plus, 75-yard plus every single game. He's the greatest dual threat quarterback in NFL history. No doubt about it. I love Vic. Vic was excellent. But in terms of him now, Lamar winning in the pocket on top of the running ability, he is the greatest dual threat quarterback we have ever seen.
The only thing Vic has over him is arm strength. Because Vic could throw it like 80 yards in the air. But I'm not even disagreeing. I'm saying the only thing Vic has over him is the arm strength. He's the greatest dual threat we've ever seen.
That's a fact. And he's winning in the pocket now. And he doesn't have, and my guy Lou, shout out Lou, man, since the Sandbox podcast. Shout out to you guys, man, doing some big things. We was chopping it up on Twitter, and I'm like, just imagine if Lamar had AJ Brown and Devontae Smith throwing him the ball. What would we be talking about? What did we talk? Imagine if you had Stephon Diggs on the outside, catching the football, or for Tua, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. He doesn't have any of those type of guys on his team. Now, people have created this narrative that it's the scheme and it's not wide receiver friendly and all this, to me is garbage. In my opinion, it makes no sense. Why wouldn't a wide receiver not want to go to a run heavy offense where if that running game works, you have to load up the box, you get more one-on-ones on the outside, creating more opportunities for that said wide receiver X. Makes no sense. Whoever comes up with that narrative does not know football. And like I said, this man deserves every penny. It's a shame that he has to go through this, but it can have a Judge type year where Judge
say the same thing.
Judge bet on himself, and if not the greatest season ever for a Major League Baseball player, clean. And now here we go. Lamar is doing something very similar right now. Has to stay healthy. I'm hoping he stays healthy. He's playing exceptional football. He's one question, no doubt about it, the MVP right now. And then now for the Patriots, right? Now for the Patriots. This is this time was gonna come. I knew this time was gonna come to where obviously you have 20 years, 21 years of pure excellence and success with Tom Brady. You just we've been so spoiled as Patriot fans watching Tom for this long and have success comeback after comeback, season after season of whatever type of yards and touchdowns and minimal interceptions. We've seen 20 years of it, 2 decades, lifetime type of football. Now we're moving into a different transition that a lot of teams that we used to slap by 30 and 40 had been going through for years past, a la the Bills, a la the Dolphins. So now we're getting the taste of the average to below average type of quarterback play. Questionable hires from a coaching standpoint. You hire a defensive coordinator who's never called offensive plays in his entire football coaching career and have him become the offensive coordinator for your second year quarterback is absolutely crazy to me.
It's malpractice.
It makes no sense to me. Listen, I know Belichick, he got everything. Right? It's his career is cemented. There's no discussion about it. That move makes no. You have a special teams assistant and a defensive assistant calling plays for your second year quarterback. You made a great point about Devontae Parker. Finally, I was waiting for him to. I thought he'd maybe get some plays against his old team in Miami, but he had no type of plays at all. Again, this is what I'm saying. I don't understand the Matt Patricia hire. You brought him in. You got him for a trade. He's supposed to be a guy that's supposed to get the football, be some sort of a consistent outside presence for Mac Jones. And it takes 3 weeks for him to get the ball consistently. That's troubling to me. And it obviously is going to become even worse now that Mac is not in the lineup. Prayers up. Hope he gets healthy, 100%. Hope he gets healthy, and we'll figure things out as that moves on. But in this game, the defense fought hard. They obviously are going to be outmatched because there's just, you have a unicorn at the quarterback position that you cannot guard. You cannot guard. It's like LeBron and these guys in the NBA. You cannot guard him because in the read option.
See, the part that annoys me too,
he keeps the ball as GGs. So
they were doing good, and then you throw 3 interceptions though.
Yes.
You cannot listen. You are not good enough as a team already, and then if you put undisciplined play, such as penalties, which they don't do because it's Bill and he'll kill you. But if you have penalties or turnovers as a team that is already below average in every offensive part of the game, you're going to lose. The defense was playing good. Yes. This was a close game.
Yes.
Like even the final score, 37-26, you're like, oh, they lost by 11. Probably wasn't that good. No. Like the Patriots were in this game until that last interception that Mac threw.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's the thing that drives me absolutely insane. Like it is malpractice in an NFL category that Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are calling plays. It is literally pathetic. It is malpractice that your wide receiver room is Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, who was probably the best receiver last year, cannot get on the field. He's in Matt Patricia's doghouse. Shut your big bearded ass up. You don't have talent as it is. How are you going to put somebody in the doghouse if you don't have any talent? If this was the Bucs and all of a sudden Russell Gage did something bad at practice and they were like, oh yeah, you're not getting starts as a 4th string. Go ahead, because you can fall back on Mike Evans, Godwin when he's healthy, Julio when he's healthy. Your best receiver is Jacoby Myers. He was already out of this game. And on a good team, he's a 3rd string at best. He's a number 1 because we don't have anyone. and this is the third most expensive wide receiver room in the NFL. This is why trust in Bill was a cool thing to say. It really was. And I love the fact that he got us 3 Super Bowl rings, him and Brady together. Unbelievable.
Six Super Bowl.
Six, sorry.
Right.
6.
Yeah.
How do I forget that? 6 Super Bowl rings. I applaud it. I have the posters hanging in my room. I have the stupid Super Bowl coins that they sell because I'm an idiot and like to get them.
Oh, you're a fan, bro. It's not
But
an idiot.
the fact that trust in Bill is a thing anymore without Tom Brady being there is a joke. You can trust in Bill in not getting wide receivers and having, a good offensive line and subpar running backs when you have the greatest player to ever touch the field in your sports history. He is the greatest player to ever touch the field. That changes a lot of things.
Yes, it does.
LeBron brought a no-name Cavs team to the finals because he's one of the greatest players to ever touch that court. And that's what Brady did with his receiving core when he was throwing to a 7th-round quarterback in Edelman and Danny Amendola, who wasn't even that good before he got there. And they win the Super Bowl with Malcolm Mitchell on the outside. It is 2022. Every good team has a wide receiver. The Bills have Diggs, Cooper Kupp with the Rams. Jefferson is on the Vikings. Miami goes out and gets Tyreek. And here's my biggest problem. You have a chance to trade for Amari Cooper. Didn't even offer it. And if they did offer it, it wasn't good enough. What was the Cooper? What was a fourth round pick. You're telling me we couldn't give up a 4th-round pick for a wide receiver that we need, not want, need.
Bro, we traded a 2nd rounder for Mohamed Sanu a couple years ago.
You could have tried last year to go out and trade for Odell because we needed a wide receiver. You could have went and traded for Tyreek maybe.
They were,
but I'm saying
they're not doing it. When have
all of these opportunities to improve the biggest deficit in your team, and you do nothing. And then I hear, well, who cares? All the money comes off the books next year, and we're going to go spend crazy again. Yeah? Tell me how Nelson Aguilar's been. Was he worth the $11 million a year? Was Jonnu Smith worth his contract?
Bro, that fumble hurts so much, bro.
Hunter Henry this year, not worth his contract. Listen, I'll be real. Matthew Judon this year, been decent. Not worth his contract this year at the moment. Last year, absolutely. This year, hasn't really showed up. But yet, J.C. Jackson's gone. So now we struggle at corner as well. You let Chandler Jones go all those years ago. Haven't really had a great pass rusher since him, although Dietrich Wise is looking pretty solid this year, let me tell you.
He's good. He's good. He had a good game.
Not Chandler Jones, though. Not Chandler Jones.
Of course not. No, not at all.
So, yeah, we're going to have money next year, and I'll tell you what. They're going to go out and sign people you've never heard of, or they're going to go out and sign older players that are past their prime at positions that we don't need. So trust in Bill all you want, but I'm praying that it's a 2-15 season because I'm over. I'm good. And listen, I'm not even complaining that like we're going to be bad because I knew my entire life I'm not going to see the Patriots play good my entire life.
Right.
But when it gets to this point, you have to wave a flag sometimes.
Yeah, it's up. Yeah, again, I'm cooling. I understand. I knew this time would happen. And that's why I didn't take the Brady years for granted. I appreciated every moment because I just knew there were going to be times either retirement or it was somehow, some way he wasn't going to be on the team. And again, it's so tough for me to assess Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry again. Because how does Hunter Henry not get involved in these first 3 games? Well, I can
target last year.
I can answer that because we have an offensive coordinator who's never been an offensive coordinator in his entire coaching career in the NFL. So and then you had Jacoby Myers come out before the week and say, he doesn't know the direction of the offense. So I mean obviously nobody knows. Nobody knows the direction of the offense. Again, in this game, you made some solid points about the game. We usually wrap it up. I mean, we kind of went on a good rant there, but again, turnover. They're not good enough to mask the turnovers. They don't have a high-powered offense. So if they turn the ball over once or twice, oh yeah, it's okay. They got so and so on the center, or blank this guy and that guy on the outside. That's just not for the Patriots right now. And you look at these young. I just talked about it with Lamar, but Lamar is all world, so he could play without those type of things. But I do think if they want to win a Super Bowl for the Ravens, they should add some of those guys. But Mac does not have elite wide receivers on the outside. He doesn't. He just doesn't. So having those young guys having those talented guys on the outside is helping Jalen Hurts. It's giving him more confidence as a passer. It's giving trust. Like, yeah, okay, this may not be the best ball, but this guy is great, and he's going to go make that play. Like
AJ Brown. You throw it up to him, that's a grown-ass man.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts and Tua aren't throwing perfect footballs every time it comes out their hand. But when you have a talented guy that's going to catch the football, he can make up for some of those things. So the Patriots don't have that. So I don't understand. Again, it's just a weird dynamic right now. Obviously now Mac being out, Brian Hoyer is just not good. He's not good. He's really he's a player coach. It's like Udonis Haslam coming in and starting for Bam Adebayo. It's not. It's just facts. I mean that's the best way. That's the best comparison to describe it, because that's exactly what it is. And yeah, tough for the Patriots. But again, I really wanted to highlight the Lamar Jackson lack of understanding from the Ravens front office and not giving him a long-term deal. I don't know, the Baltimore media, I don't know. I have to look at that a little bit more. Baltimore media, Ravens media, like the media that covers the Ravens, why they haven't asked those type of, maybe they have. And I just wasn't, aware of it. But why? I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. If the only reason is because he's representing himself, that's a terrible reason. I mean,
I heard that I saw that they offered him a guaranteed contract or something, or like a guaranteed money in the contract, but it wasn't more than Deshaun.
Yeah, it needs to be better. It needs to be more than Deshaun.
You're not going to get an argument from me, but I guess I think that's why.
Why would he take anything less than Deshaun? He's had more success in the NFL than this. He's 39-13
and an MVP. And an MVP. Deshaun don't got an MVP.
Like, bro, 39-13. I mean, he'd have to go on like a tragic downhill of quarterback play for him to get to 500. He's almost at 40 wins. All he does is win. All he does is win. You don't like it. You don't have to like his style. Maybe the arm delivery isn't as pretty as quarterback X, but all he does is win. And without him, they suck.
Terrible.
Like not even like, oh, okay. Well, even if Lamar comes out, they still got this guy and that guy. No, it's Lamar running, passing. That was a beautiful pass to Duvernay on the back of the. That was a beautiful pass to Duvernay. Great pass. Bateman could have really opened the game up and blew us out if he would have caught that. It was right there. All he had to do was just run a little bit more and go get the ball. It's a tud. Automatically, he would have had 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing on Bill Belichick's led defense. Special. That's it.
Special it is. We'll move on to after our nice long rant, but hey, it's our show and it's our team, damn it.
It's our team, yeah. You know the Patriot segment guys, you've been watching us, they go a little longer because Connie and I have obviously a real special connection to that squad, but it had to be done. We had to say what we need to say.
I get a little upset talking about them. Hey, one of their counterparts in their own division, the Bengals, they went over to the Jets 27-12. I'm gonna be real. I didn't watch this game either because it's the Jets. I'm not watching them play. I think the biggest story out of this game is the fact that Joe Burrow only got sacked twice. I swear to God, I think that's the biggest story out of the game.
I would clap a lot, but for obvious for our audience that listens to us, it's probably not the best from an audio perspective. But wow, good job, Bengals offensive line. Congratulations. You're actually doing what you've been paid to do. Congratulations, good job. You're protecting the guy that's going to help you win a Super Bowl. Wow. Let's try to do 2 weeks in a row now. Let's try
Baby
to do it
steps.
against a good team, like a really good team now. Uh, you know, much needed win for the Bengals. Obviously, I know again the appendix surgery with Burrow, he missed a lot of time, and obviously you need that continuity between obviously the offense, the quarterback, offensive line, skill position guys. I get it. So this was a much needed win for the Bengals, and I feel like they're right there. Um, they're right there, but they need to get some dubs together and get on a nice run here going forward. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this game. Jets again, Flacco. Like I said, it was a flash in the pan type game for him a couple weeks last week. That's all it was.
I know. I love all the people. What if Joe Flacco plays good? Do you go back to Zach Wilson? You have to be the dumbest person I've ever heard in my entire life. That was a real question. I mean, it's like, listen, that's to the level of like, do they let you cut your own food type of stupid?
Yeah, I mean that's just radio talk to fill up time, bro.
No, that was fans.
Fans?
I listen. I listen to the Michael K show religiously. People calling in. What if Flacco plays good? Do you go back to Zach Wilson, or do you just, Salah has to win games? Idiots. Absolutely stupid.
Yeah, just not thinking logical. They're obviously not going to go with Joe Flacco as their long-term starter. That's just common sense. But we got the Raiders and the Titans, two teams to where last year were one of the most interesting teams in the AFC. Titans were the number one seed in the AFC. Number one seed in the AFC last season. They were able to get the dub on Sunday against the Raiders. Raiders look weird to me. I had some high hopes about Vegas. I thought McDaniels getting a second shot, being a head coach. He'd be inspired and have a certain type of motivation now, given this second chance with such a storied franchise like the Raiders. And right now, I just haven't seen a lot of continuity from an offense, creativity from a play callings perspective. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Devontae Adams not getting the football, and I just don't.
He has a touchdown in every game, but that's about it.
You have all off season months to install a program for these. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
5 for 36.
I
mean, he had 10 targets, but I mean, targets don't mean much when you're not catching it. So there was obviously a problem.
And then Carr has to play better, man. He has to play better. That offensive line is not great, and that's something that they've been struggling with for years. It's such an underrated thing to build when you're building a football team.
Cares about it, man.
Exactly. No, and
it's not flashy.
Yeah, it's not flashy, but it's the most important thing to build for an NFL franchise, because it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is, Andrew Luck, if you don't have an offensive line and he continues to get beat up and continues to get hit over and over again, 50 plus sacks in a season, it's not a formula for success for a franchise. So they need to get that together, man. And and I get it. It's a difficult thing to build. It's tough to get 5 guys up front that are key and lock chain together, working offensively from a running and passing standpoint on that offensive line. You need a left tackle that has quick feet, good hands, strong to protect that man from his blind side. That's a key position on that offensive line, bro. Because if he's
not teach us anything,
if he's looking over here and you're not doing your job, that boy, it could be career. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could really be, because you're not seeing it. You don't know where he's coming from, or head, neck, chest, legs. You have no clue. So you need those offensive linemen. So it's not an easy task. It's not. It's not an easy. But they need to find. They have the nice little toys, but they need the foundational pieces to bring it together. And they need that offensive line, and they need to run the football a little bit more. The defense looked okay to me. The Titans, they needed this dub too. It wasn't pretty. All of their games have not been pretty so far this year. I thought the Raiders were going to win this game, but they came out in front of their home crowd and did what they needed to do in Nashville, and they got the dub. Again, an ugly type of game, but a much needed win for the Titans. And from a Raiders perspective, now you're 0-3.
Only team in the league, by the way.
Only team in the league that is 0-3. They need to have some type of conversation amongst the players. Well, Josh McDaniels needs to look in the mirror and figure some things out.
Did you see that he had a closed door meeting with Mark Davis?
I did see that, and for that already to have a conversation after week 3. And I think with Mark Davis is that I don't think it's just the 0-3. It's how they're playing as well. Like it'd be different if they're 0-3, but they'd lose. They lost 3 games. I mean, they've lost close games by possession or so. It's not like they're getting blown out. But it's like, okay, I'm paying Davante Adams, $130 million, and he's only getting 5 catches. Like, what are we doing here? What's up? Like, weren't you like the offensive coordinator when Randy Moss and these guys were there in New England? Like, can you scheme some of those things up for 17? I know Derek is not Tom, but he could get the ball out. Let's get Davante Adams the football. So. It's an interesting thing. This first month for Vegas has been very underwhelming. They're definitely probably the most underwhelming team so far in the first month, first 3 weeks or so in the NFL.
That's the thing. To me, their defense is terrible. Like their
secondary. Yeah,
not even that. I mean. Derrick Henry actually looked like Derrick Henry in this game for a little bit. 20 for 85, he had the touchdown. But, I mean, there's nothing that's impressive of them right now, and that with Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, like you expect at least something to be decent, and nothing on the team looks good. And, I mean, Darren Waller was barely involved in this game. That's another one. Like, you're not getting Davante Adams or Darren Waller involved? Like, how is your leading receiver? And, like, I mean, listen, you got to get contributions from everybody on the team. But Mac Hollins, 8 for 158 and a touchdown? That's your leading receiver when you have Davante Adams and Darren Waller on the team? Like, listen, good for him. And like I said, you do have to get other players involved, obviously. But that's crazy to me. And like you said, Derek Carr, his first couple of games, these first 3 games, hasn't looked good. You're right. I thought he would play at a pretty high level. I mean, obviously, you go back a few years when he was playing almost at an MVP level. Then he broke his leg, obviously, and it's kind of been, I would say, downhill easily since then. But the only 0-3 team in the league. And we mentioned it. It's the AFC West. Like, we thought it was going to be a crazy, crazy division. I mean, maybe not because Denver can't score. The Chargers' entire football team is hurt. The entire team. Literally the entire team is hurt. And it looks like the Chiefs are going to win again. Yeah, they just lost to the Colts. I mean, maybe that won't happen again. But, like, it's you know that, CJ, that each team that has beaten the Raiders this year, their only win is against the Raiders? Every team that has beaten them this year, it's their only win of the season so far. It's the 3rd week of the season, I understand. But, I mean, every team that has beaten them is the only one they have. I mean, it's just not good. I mean, you're having a closed-door meeting with the owner after the 3rd week. That is not what you want, obviously.
No, it is not. Yeah, so we're going to see if McDaniels has the pulse of that locker room, man, going forward.
We're going to find out a whole lot.
If the family aspect is there and they're going to ride for each other, and they believe in McDaniels, that they could bounce back from this, because it's still very early. There's still 14 games left, so they have some time, but it's a tough task. It's a tall task to get out of. I don't know if I'm not saying playoffs or anything like that, but they have to really lock in if they want to get out of this hole. All right, we got the NFC East showdown.
Very excited
between the previously 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles and the DC team. And people have been making jokes about the Commander name because they haven't really been in command of anything, especially their organization. It's very funny joke there, which is very true as well. But Philadelphia, they wax the Commanders in is it called FedEx Field now? Still?
Yeah, I think it's still FedEx Field.
Okay. Oh, all right, perfect. Philadelphia, they play great balanced football, man. And and we have to really give a lot of credit to Howie Roseman. I mean, listen, he caught a lot of flack 2 years ago for the Rager situation, passing on Jets and not being able to, get him. He took a little bit of heat for getting Jalen Hurts in the second round. Jalen Hurts, we got Carson Wentz. You don't need to get Jalen. Okay, what are we doing here? Quarterback controversy. Jalen Hurts, he's not that good. He comes to Oklahoma. This is not. And now here we are 2 years later. And what does he do? He drafts Devontae Smith. And then the year after drafting Devontae Smith in the draft, what does he do? He goes and trades for AJ Brown and gives him a 4-year, $100 million extension. And I think that's done wonders for Jalen Hurts. And also, again, we've talked about this, about the Bengals, about the Texans, about the Chiefs, about the Bears. They have a really good offensive line. Jason Kelce is the leader of that offensive line. You talked about Jason Kelce earlier in the show. Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata on both tackles respectively. They've done an excellent job in running the football. Jalen Hurts is an elite running threat, and now he's working on his passing as well. And I think that's a big factor. Devontae Smith was phenomenal in this game. I watched the whole game on Sunday, and they got the Batman cape going on. They feel like they think they're all Batman, which I think is a great mindset to have. Not thinking one is better than the other, just going out there and making plays for each other, which I think it needs to happen more. And they look great. They look great right now. The defense is exceptional. Jordan Davis was getting some really good pressures on Carson Wentz. Brandon Graham was getting in there, sacking his former teammate, from getting a fumble. Fletcher Cox also had a sack as well. This defense looks great.
They're hitting in the first quarter.
6 I believe they had 13. How many? I forgot. They had 9.
I think they ended with like 9.
9. Yeah, I think they had 9 in the game. I believe that's a record for them. I was seeing the graphic. I don't remember off top when I was watching the game. Might be a game record for Philadelphia. But again, yeah, this was a complete beat down of the Washington Commanders. Again, who have talent on their team, but this team is just not good. And it starts at the top, man. You know when teams are not going to be good when the people at the top are dysfunctional, and it's been that way since Dan Snyder has been the owner, and it's going to continue to be that way unless there's a certain change that happens for that team. So Eagles have done a great job in building, reloading. They're one of the best reloading teams we have seen in the last couple years. Not completely just selling out, but and then quote unquote tanking. But okay, yeah, we're not good this year. What can we do next to improve the following year? And obviously, you need a quarterback in that. Got some luck. Jalen Hurts is a dog. He has a great mentality. He had his career is, I think, perfect for the city of Philadelphia up until now. He was a starter in Alabama. Then he got a spot ran by Tua. And then he stayed and went backed up Tua and then waited and then left and then became the quarterback of Oklahoma. Had a great year there. Struggled. Played a couple games when Wentz was still there in 2020. Last year got his shot to be the starter. They go 9-7. They go to the playoffs, and now they're 3-0. And they're doing a great job. And again, Nick Sirianni needs to get a lot of credit. He needs to get a lot.
He was
of
my
credit.
coach of the year last year.
I did not see this coming. This is, this came out of nowhere. No one, the media and these coaches, they love to anoint. Yeah, this is the next guy. This is going to be the next so-and-so of the NFL from a coaching standpoint. No one saw Nick Sirianni being this, and he's done a great job with this football team. They believe in him. They're balling out, and they're playing some excellent football, man. Philadelphia is, without question, the best team in the NFC.
I'm happy you, man. I'm happy you said it at the end right there. Now, listen, I've always had a little love for the Eagles. My brother's an Eagles fan, so I've kind of grown up with, I'm a Patriot fan. He's an Eagle fan, blah, 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 whatever. CJ, I don't think this is the best team in the NFC. I think this is the best team in the NFL. I really do. Because what they can do on defense with, like you said, Fletcher Cox, listen, we clowned them the last couple of years that they had no idea what a linebacker is. Guess what? All of a sudden, their linebackers are playing great this year. Nakobe Dean, who they drafted, kick it on the field because their linebackers are playing that good. He has not been on a play on the field during the season. Crazy. And they drafted him because their linebacker core was bad. Well, guess what? They also went out and signed Hassan Reddick, who is
great pickup,
flying all over the field, no pun intended.
Yeah, right.
And then you got Darius Slay. Obviously, they traded for who's the guy from the Saints?
Chris Gardner-Johnson.
CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Yes.
They trade for him. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm patting myself on the back. CJ, you can do the same thing. Jalen Hurts' rookie year was last year. I know, he started 2 games. I don't care. I promise you, I've never cared about anything less in my entire life. Last year was his rookie year. And he went through it. They figured out that, we're very good at running the ball. We should stick to that. They started running the ball. They found their identity. And now you go out, like you said, and trade for A.J. Brown, who I feel like this gets said a lot. Maybe not by everybody, but I do. That's a grown-ass man. Like, A.J. Brown is a grown man.
Yeah.
On that field. So you can throw the ball off to him easy. I mean, and then if Devontae Smith is going to play like that, yeah, good luck. Because what did he have, like 150 something, I want to say?
157, I believe.
And he got in the end zone as well, I believe.
Yes, he did. Oh, yeah, he mauled somebody in the back of the end zone. Great pass by Jalen Hurts. Yep. Yeah.
So if he's going to play like that, and like they're 3 running backs deep without their quarterback, who might be the best running back on the team. And he's a different type of runner than Lamar. Like Lamar is a quick and whatever. Listen, this dude squats 600. And you remember that play, the Monday night game. I'm sure you talked about it. He's basically tackled, keeps driving, dives to the end zone, and gets in.
Yeah, his style is, like you said, different than Lamar. He's more power-based, power-type running. And Lamar is more
finesse.
Finesse, yes. Finesse with power, though. With power.
Yeah, because, I mean, he gained 20 pounds of muscle.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a different element. Him, Josh Allen, Hurts, Allen, Jackson, Kyler. I mean, it's cream of the crop right now.
Absolutely.
If you're a football fan, you get now we're getting different styles of dual threat quarterbacks now.
It used to be different styles of passers.
Yeah. It should be. Oh, you have your in the pocket
gunslinger, you got a pocket guy,
and then the dual threat. Now you still got those. Now you have your power dual threat, your finesse, your quick. So listen, this league is in good hands for sure.
No, this team they're very good. Like,
yes, they are.
They have the best offensive line in the league with Jason Kelsey. I can't remember their guard's name. I think he's like, oh man, I can't think of his name right now.
I want to say Brooks, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I can't remember his name at the moment.
Let's see if I can look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now. I think he's. Come on, show me the offensive line position overview. Let's see. Josh Andrews, not him. Not him, not him, not. Is Lane Johnson still on this team? Or is this an old
Yeah,
team?
no, Lane Johnson's still there, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Why did I not know that? Evan Mathis. Okay. Nah, this has to be old.
Yeah,
Because
they got Isaac Somalio and Landon Dickerson, their rookie that they drafted, is their left guard. And again, Mailata and
Mailata, that's who I'm thinking of. That's one of the
Mailata,
tackles then?
Mailata is one of the tackles with Lane Johnson, obviously Kelsey. Yeah.
Mailata is a beast.
Yes, he is. Athletic
And
guy,
then
played rugby. Went from rugby to the NFL. So, you have to have quick feet playing that game. It's a great sport. It takes a lot of technique to play. Really underrated type sport. And he made a really good transition, man, from rugby to left tackle, and made a bunch of money. Yeah.
And then Jason Kelsey might be the most athletic center ever. I mean, this man is 40 yards downfield sometimes, running with the running back.
Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, he could go up there. That's something I've never really thought about, most athletic centers. But one obviously Mike Webster in those Steeler days back in the day. He was one of the best. But he's great. He's great, man. He's obviously the leader of that offense. He's a captain of the team, and they follow him and they take heed to what he's saying from a veteran standpoint in that locker room.
And then I mean, you go to they added James Bradbury because the Giants just didn't want him anymore for some unknown reason. They drafted Jordan Davis, who's a giant human being. Yeah. I mean, it's Dallas Goedert, not in the Kelsey, Andrews, Waller level.
Second tier. Yeah, that's second tier. That's fine. That's
he's
perfect.
Probably the best second tier tight end in the league.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
tough to debate that.
The team just it's very good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is very, very good. So yeah, I think it's the best team in the NFL right now. I really do.
I agree.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, and then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Los Angeles Chargers. Before we really get into the game, do you think Herbert should have played?
No.
Okay. You want to elaborate? Yeah.
Okay. And listen, here's my thing, and I said this yesterday. If he's gonna play, I need an explanation as to how he is in the game in the fourth quarter when they are down 38-10. Why is he still in the game? And also, he rib cartilage broken, whatever, very painful, all this. CJ, they threw it 88% of the time. Listen, I mentioned the word malpractice earlier in the show. This man should damn near sue Brandon Staley for what he did to him. I mean, they got absolutely.
They're already getting sued by Tyrod.
I mean, yeah, same doctor as Tyrod. Tyrod's already suing him. So what's another lawsuit? But yeah, I mean, listen, it's week 3 of the season. You have much bigger plans. Do you really want Herbert out there against the Jags, who, obviously they got clapped by them. So maybe I guess you don't win with the backup clearly. But, I mean, the fact that he played and the fact that he played in the 38-10 game, at the minute they're up by 2 touchdowns late in the game, I'm taking him out. Yeah, I'm waving the white flag. I'm sorry, I am. He's my franchise quarterback for the next 20 years, hopefully. I'm protecting him. What do you want me to say? That is I absolutely could not believe what I was watching.
I agree. I'm with you for all the reasons you just explained. And yeah, that's your money, man. That's your CEO of your franchise. And, for that situation, he was hurt coming into the game. You got to take him out. The Jaguars, hey, man. Hey, listen, AFC South is
wide open.
Yeah, it is. And this is what I was expecting. I wanted to see how they played with some type of structure. Now they have structure. Doug Peterson is structure. We don't know how great we don't know how great the team's gonna be, but they have structure. Trevor Lawrence is really excelling right now, especially these last 2 weeks. Had a great game last week against the Colts. and then followed that up with a solid game against the Chargers as well. Again, they're learning what they want to do, how the offense wants to operate, and the defense is really good. Josh Allen needs to get more love, just like the other Josh Allen. You know what I mean? He's pretty the guy's pretty talented. And again, like I said, this is what happens when these teams have structure. They got the quarterback. Now they're in Jacksonville. Now let's see if they can string some wins together. If I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, and if I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar, I'm looking at the division like, yo, we could go win this thing, man. I mean, the Colts are not as scary are not that their defense is scary, but their offense is one dimensional. The Texans are the Texans, and the Titans are the Titans. And again, like I said, if I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, I'm like, yo, we should have the best quarterback in the division. So based off that alone, our chances of winning the division should be high. So now you have structure. Lawrence is playing well. Let's see if those two things together equal a really productive and solid season, maybe a playoff berth for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good win. Really good win.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you either. I mean, listen, you drafted Trevor Lawrence. He was supposed to be Jesus walking. And with some structure, he's kind of showing that he can play a little bit. So
that's all you I mean, it's just life, bro. In life, you have structure, you have somewhere to go, what to do. It just sets everything up. It puts things in place for you. When you don't have that, you're going this way, that way, trying to figure things out. When you have structure in your life and you have structure at your job, like these guys, this is their job. When you have that from the top down, it just becomes a better environment. And I think that's what we're seeing right now in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I agree.
NFC West showdown between the Rams and the Cardinals. This was something I thought the Cardinals were going to come back after their win against the Raiders. I thought they'd have some type of juice and motivation, like try to go off that win and get a W. Unfortunately, they were unable to do so. This team could. I mean, if Kyler doesn't have the magic that he had last week, they should be the only 0-3 team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Again, just from the Cardinals, what they need to do is they need to run the ball and take a lot of the pressure off of Kyler Murray. I know DeAndre Hopkins is out, and I get it. He's exceptional. He's one of the best to ever do it, of course. But you have to find other ways to get your offense going, man. And I'm just not sure if Cliff Kingsbury is gonna be that guy for them going forward. They need to start running the football. They need to draft a running back. They had like a Nick Chubb or someone like that Kyler could hand the football off to. That would just make that offense much more dynamic. But when you're just coming out in the shotgun every single offensive play, because again, Kyler's not the tallest guy, so it would just make more sense to play in the shotgun so he could see more of the field. I get it, but if you have an elite running back in there, he could kind of play off this. He could come under center a little bit. Now you're changing up the offense. Now, okay, he's coming on the center. They're going to run. Oh no, we're going to do a play action. We're going to roll out, get D-Hop, get Hollywood, Ertz. I mean, AJ underneath, something like that. Now you can work. But if you're just coming out the shotgun every play, defense like, oh yeah, we know what they're going to do. They might do a little bit of read option here and there, but it becomes one dimensional. So the Cardinals, they need to have a much more creative style of offense. Next to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can't play backyard football for 17 weeks and expect you to go, win a bunch of games. You're going to win some games playing that way because he's extremely talented. But again, just like I said with the Jaguars, you need a structure when it comes to offense. And I just think right now it's just Kyler magic or bust for the Cardinals. And it needs to be more than that if they want to have success.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much the team changes when D-Hop isn't playing. Insane. And that's a concerning thing. Like, I understand, and we've talked a lot about wide receivers this episode, But like your offense can't change that much because one guy's gone. Like, and here's the other thing too. You talk about game planning all the time. You knew he was going to be out for 6 weeks for how long? Like you knew he was out. So you got to get Hollywood involved. You got to, try and pick up the scraps of AJ Green. You got to run the ball more with James Conner. And I mean, I don't think James Conner is that guy. He seems to be a little injury prone. Great story. I wish him the best, but I mean, I just don't think he really is like that lead back type of guy. Right. Seems more of like would be great at a goal line situation type of thing. Yes. But seems like he's hurt pretty often. And then, like you said, if Kyler's not running around and somehow then chucking it downfield or escaping for a 75-yard run for a touchdown, it just doesn't seem like the team is going to have a lot of success. Their defense isn't very good. They held the Rams to 20 points, but I mean, you only scored 12. Like, I don't know if Cliff Kingsbury is that guy.
Yeah, they just got 12. Oh my gosh.
Like, Cliff Kingsbury is supposed to be this great coach. He's always loved Kyler, whatever. And you've collapsed every second half of the season. And you went to the playoffs and got absolutely embarrassed. So I think this year is his last year because I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs.
Didn't they just extend him?
Did they?
I could have sworn they extended him and Kyler in the same offseason.
Well, maybe I'm wrong then, but if they didn't extend him, if they miss the playoffs this year, see you later. Nice run, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be it for him. Rams, they did what they needed to do. Wasn't a pretty win. Divisional games are not always the prettiest, but it's just about make sure you're getting that dub for bragging rights, and that's what they did. I mean, they just clearly had the Cardinals' number as we saw in that Monday Night Football game in the wild card game last year, and then that just kind of just trickled over to Sunday as well. But yeah, good win by the Rams, and the Cardinals. They definitely have some work to do before D-Hop gets back. Falcons and the Seahawks. It turned out to be an okay game. Looking at this game on first glance, especially last week when I was making predictions, I was just like, oh my god, nobody's watching this. But I saw a little bit of it. I saw a little bit of it on one of my streams that I was watching, and listen, Drake London, man.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's really good. I had an opportunity to take Drake London in one of the rookie drafts. I believe you're in this league with me, bro. But I took Jameson Williams. I think I'm gonna be good with that. But Drake London is really good. He's really special. And again, Mariota played well. He played well in this game. Cordell Patterson. I spoke highly.
He should have been a running back his whole career.
Should have, yeah. He should have been.
CJ.
He should have been.
17 for 141.
And it keeps and the factor is honestly, it may be good that he wasn't because he has fresher legs than some of these other running backs. He's not like a car crash like we talk about every time these running backs go through the hole. He's much more. His legs are much more fresher than your traditional type back. So. Yeah, he was phenomenal in this game, and they're another team where I see it where it's like they're in that if we get a quarterback bubble, let's see what's up. And it's so easy to say as comments, this team is quarterback obviously going to be good, but I'm also looking at it. I'm also looking at it from a talent perspective, like who they have also around them. Like the Lions have really good talent on top of if they get that guy, and I think the Falcons. They need a couple more pieces for sure. They have some good players on both sides of the football. But again, this is more of developing our young guys. When this is a game they should win. You look at this game on the schedule. You're like, yo, we should come out and win this game, and that's what they did. Even though they were going up against the 12th man at the CenturyLink and the Seahawks.
That's why I picked them, and I regret it.
Yeah, they bring that energy, but they got it done. Gino was all right. DK Metcalf dropped some really routine catches in that game where I'm like, brother. I mean, those are drive. Bro, man, you got to catch that football, man. You got to catch that football, bro. If that football's in your hands, bro, like You have to catch that football. I mean, you're getting paid to do what you love, so you have to produce. And like I know it's one game, but there was some key plays where if he catches the football, it extends some drives and they maybe score and win. It could potentially win this game, and he wasn't able to step up on those plays. It's unfortunate. But again, I'm not expecting much from Seattle anyway.
Yeah.
So, but again, this is a light game. Not too much to talk about. Two teams that are developing and moving forward.
CJ, one thing I forgot to say about the Jags too. James Robinson tore his ACL last year. Only running back this year with the touchdown in all 3 games, playing absolutely out of his mind. Everybody thought ATN was going to be the guy because he's back this year. James Robinson said, "Hell no, brother. Wait in line." James Robinson might be like one of the best running backs in the league this year.
Yeah,
like
he's playing well.
At the moment, he's like right there with Chubb.
Had 1,000 yards rushing before Urban got there. Like you said, got hurt last year, and now here we are, year 3, and he's really playing really good football in that Doug Peterson offense.
Absolutely. But continue. Sorry, that came back into my head. Had to
No, you're good. It's a great point. We got Packers and the Bucks.
Jesus.
This, I thought this honestly. I knew that I didn't think it'd be 14-12, but I thought it'd be an ugly type game because the Bucks, Tom's throwing the Patriot wide receivers right now.
Scrubs.
And you got Cole Beasley in there, just picked him up yesterday. And he's in the game catching, 5-yard slants and end routes. And Brady's upset with him because he dives when I don't know why he dived. He should have just kept running the football. I don't get it. Maybe he's never. I mean, he played with Josh Allen, but I don't know. You catch the football, if you're able to run still. Yeah. Why would you dive on third and 7? You catch it at the 5, and I don't know. That was weird to me, but that was a small thing where I'm like, okay. But what I really wanted to talk about was the defenses of both of these teams. Both of these teams have phenomenal defenses. Devondre Campbell is one of the most underrated football players in the NFL. What he's doing defensively at that middle linebacker position for the Green Bay Packers has been nothing short of exceptional. He puts up 100 plus tackles with sacks and interceptions and tackles for loss every single year. Matt, if you're still watching, gotta give him Devondre Campbell a lot of love. He's fast. He's up and down the field. Excellent linebacker. That defense did a great job. And again, I know they didn't have all their weapons. Mike Evans was out, suspension, Godwin, Julio, they're all out. But you still got to play at the end of the day. And Green Bay's defense did a great job. Tampa Bay's defense is phonamenal. Phenomenal defense. I know they gave
unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. And I think once the Bucs are able to get those guys back, they could be really scary. I would love to see a Philadelphia Tampa Bay rematch.
Beauty.
Hopefully more down the line of the playoff rather than so early. But either way, Tampa Bay's defense is those young guys on the back end have really grown and matured. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield Jr.
Dogs.
Then the linebacker core is. I mean, it speaks for itself with Levante David and Devin White. They lose JPP to the Ravens. Oh, my God, that's going to be a crazy pickup for Baltimore. But they got a Tryon in there. They're young guy. I
saw Carl Nassib making plays. I hadn't heard his name forever.
Carl Nassib's on the squad. I didn't even know that. Okay, all right, yeah. So he's out there making plays for them. I heard some talks that Ndamukong Suh might come back. There's still some interest between.
So we got Vita Vea.
Still got Vita Vea, exactly, and of course Akeem Hicks and Shaquille Barrett. So this defense is elite. I know after that Cooper Kupp play going into this season, they're like, it's no way. They played because the way they played in that second half of that game, getting turnovers on Cam Akers and picks, and that was some of the best football from a defense I've seen in a long Brady was scored, but he had to get the ball back for them to score. And that defense did their thing. The way they were creating turnovers in that second half after being down, the way they were down, and then for them to, just blow that one coverage at the end, I know that pains them because they could have had a really good shot at going back to back. But it is what it is. New season, and they're playing really inspired right now, bro. I really like what I see from Tampa Bay's defense, but Brady, he got the drive, but they couldn't convert on the 2-point conversion. I was saying I was like, yo, Brady, I was like, yo, they just need one drive from you, champ. Just one drive, champ, and then y'all could go home. But they got the drive, and that was a great pass to Russell Gage on the backside. Put it right behind him so he doesn't get hit by the defender. Dime. That was a dime. When he threw it and they showed the replay, I'm like, that is a dime. That's such a great pass, bro. Like, that's such an underrated pass for him to put it.
Not getting somebody killed. Yeah.
No, but if I'm saying in traffic, high pressure.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying though.
Like for him to put it like right here, so the defender can't tip it, and in the red zone, the passes get tipped, and it becomes in this. Him to put it right there, bro. I mean, listen, he didn't have a great game by any means. He was struggling, but they needed that one, and that play, that penalty really hurt them because I feel like
no idea how that happened.
It was a false. I think it was a false delay game. Delay game. I don't know.
You have to go for 2. You should have the call, the play called already. How do you get a delay game in that situation?
That's crazy. I don't know what happened there. I really feel like looking at the formation, they were going to convert because he was just going to hand it off to Fournette, and it was going to be a 2-point conversion. But but now it's not a 2-yard run. Now you're on your own 8, and things change now, and you don't have red zone threat, like one of the greatest red zone threats we've ever seen in Mike Evans. You don't have that, and unfortunately, he made a decision that in the moment he felt like he was defending this guy. But he ended up hurting his team because now you get suspended and you're not in this game. If he's in this game, I think they win this game.
I think they win this game easy.
Yes, exactly. So, but that's when you make decisions, you pay for the consequences, and that's what it was. But Green Bay, they stood pack on the road. I think it was a big win by the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got too much to say. I mean, we're already past the 2-hour 20 mark. So, but yeah, I think you said it all. I mean, the Bucs defense they literally might hold teams to 15 points a game this year. I mean, they are flying around the field. Winfield's a dog. Devin White is unbelievable. Levante David, we said it a couple weeks ago, is the most underrated linebacker of this generation. He was just sandwiched between, Luke Kuechly and Bobby Wagner's greatness. So he doesn't get the love he deserves, but he's absolutely incredible. And then, Logan Ryan gets that interception.
That was a great. I forgot about that. That was a great interception. Yeah.
They hid the coverage that they were in until, that last little second. Just great football on that defensive side. And I think once, Evans is back next week and Godwin will be back, maybe week 7, 8, 6, that type of situation. If you get Julio, to stay healthy for more than one game, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be A-okay. And Lenny, so far this year, playing like an animal.
Well. People try to laugh at him because of the weight, but, I mean, he's balling.
Nah,
he's in game shape right now.
And that's the thing, and they said it during the broadcast too, him catching the ball was always he can't really catch when he came into the league. He's a receiving back now. He's a true dual threat when it comes to running backs, I guess.
And he wants to get that bag.
Yeah.
He's on a 1-year deal, so he's going to get paid next year. I know he's still running back, but
yeah. I think they're going to be A-okay. And then the Packers, their defense looked pretty solid as well. Romeo Doubs getting involved. Maybe that's a guy that Rodgers has figured out that he likes. Obviously, they got Lazard back. He's pretty good at everything. I mean, he's making blocks in the run game and things like that. They got that 2-headed monster at running back that we both know of, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, obviously. I think in the 3 games this year so far, they already have they already have the same amount of snaps on the field together as they did all of last year combined. So obviously they're trying to get them on the field at the exact same time.
A lot of split back
yeah,
sets. Yeah,
absolutely.
Got to do it. Last thing too before we move on to the 49ers.
The 2 worst games of the week. Jesus.
Yeah, it was those are rough watches. Romeo Doubs, you said it. He looked good. He looked good, man. Had a touchdown. I mean, they can never draft first round wide receivers, but they always somehow manage
those second rounders.
Yeah, those second rounders. Those second rounders they somehow get. And we'll see. I have to stay consistent. I remember seeing people comment about him on a you ever watch Just Bomb Productions? He does college football highlights.
I have not.
Okay, yeah, no, but I remember seeing. I believe he went to Nevada. I was watching his Nevada tape, but like before the draft, it was just like one day, and they were like, "Yo," the people like underneath on the comments, they were like, "Yo, this guy's gonna be really good. This guy's gonna be really good." So. He's playing well right now. As long as he continues to gain the trust of Aaron Rodgers, he's going to put himself in a position to succeed.
Yeah.
That's it. 49ers, Broncos. I mean, not too much to say other than Broncos should be 3-0, despite the offense being, terrible looking right now. But they should be 3-0 if they manage to clock better and gave Russell Wilson that rock in week 1. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still early. As long if you win and it's ugly right early, I think that's the best case scenario for them. It's not like some of these other teams we talked about where they're winning and their quarterback is not good.
Yeah.
So Russell, I think they'll get it together here soon. They're going to need to, but they're second in the division right now. So, despite the poor play on offense, and the defense is good. Defense is really good. PS2, Randy Gregory, Bradley Chubb was getting to that boy, Jimmy Garoppolo. They have a really good defense. And then for the 49ers, I'm not surprised, bro. I mean, they're still gonna win games. They're gonna be good. I know they're 1-2. They lost that game against the Bears and that monsoon that you talked about, but they're gonna be fine because that division isn't great. I think they're still better than the Cardinals, so I think they'll still win, some games. But Garoppolo is Garoppolo. Like I say, he's not an all-world guy. This is why they wanted Trey Lance. So
yeah, I mean, like you said, there's not much to talk about in this game. I mean, neither team could do anything on offense. It was an absolute slug fest. I mean,
snooze fest. Yes.
Listen, yeah. If you love football, and you like this is the opposite of getting rehydrated. You pass out, you get taken to the hospital, they put some fluids in you, feel like a brand new person. This was like I went to the hospital and they just took everything out of me. Like they took every ounce of football love I have out of me. This game was, awful.
Yeah, this game is bad.
But hey, Broncos come out on top. And listen, Hackett. Listen, not a fan of Hackett. Not a fan. And listen, we always make the jokes about the let Russ cook thing, and it hasn't worked. But I will say this: the one drive.
Are they doing it?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the one drive that I think they really let Russ cook in is the one that they scored a touchdown on because they had to go hurry up, and Russ was leading the entire thing. I think with whoever's calling the plays is just awful at his job. Because I think that when Russ was in the hurry up and they had to go down and score and they had to rely on him, they went down and scored pretty easily in my eyes. I mean, that was not that difficult if you watched it.
And that just magnifies obviously that first week game where they don't go for it on 4th and 6 and instead, kick a field goal this guy's never made his entire career from distance.
68
so
yards.
Yeah,
bold strat.
Ridiculous. It's going to be some growing pains. It's not going to, again, it's not going to be this seamless transition. You have a young offensive play caller, and then he hires his assistant to be the offensive coordinator, and you have Russell Wilson in there. There's going to be it's going to be just like I said, it's going to be growing pains. It's going to be It's going to be a learning experience for everybody involved when it comes to that offense. As long as they continue to keep the main thing, and not let egos override, the winning, which is the most important thing, then I think they'll be fine because they're still in all of these games, and they could, like I said, they could easily be 3-0 right now. So just keep the main thing for them. And I think, yeah, let Russ, have. I don't know what the problem is per se. I don't know if they're not letting Russ cook. Or, I don't know, but they need to figure some things out, because when you go up against the Chiefs, we still can't sleep on the Raiders. I mean, they still have a offense to where you have to account for. They have talented guys on that side of the football. Chargers, Keenan Allen's been out for the last 2 weeks. So when he comes back, Mike Williams, those are offensive weapons that you gotta be able to match on your side.
That's the thing, Joe. I forgot, like, because we talked about Herbert so much with that. Bro, Rashawn Slater out for the year. Herbert's hurt right now. Joey Bosa is going to be out for the next couple of weeks. A pretty bad hamstring. J.C. Jackson's played one game. They just put Joshua Palmer, I think it is, on the IR. His season's over.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the entire team being hurt? That's the Chargers.
Yeah, so it's been tough. But yeah, Broncos again 2-1. It's ugly, but they're winning. And I think if they continue to just stay the course, look at Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. There was some issues.
It was bad.
They were 7-5, and then after the bye week, they did something magical. But it wasn't pretty out the gate. That first game against the Saints, when Tom's first game against the Saints when he was a Buck, was not like this all-world, 07 Tom game. It was a struggle. So, yeah, just continue to keep, as long as the communication is fluid, I think they'll be fine. All right, then we got the Monday Night Football game to wrap up Week 3. NFC East showdown between the Cowboys and the New York Football Giants. And they come out and it was an interesting game. I think the Giants fans, they definitely were live. They were live last night.
Yeah.
They were definitely hyped up. You see the white towels waving around. They were hyped up for this game. They know, they had the possibility of going 3-0, and it's against Dallas. All the history between both of these franchises. What a rush! Cooper Rush goes out there and again is 3-0 as a starter. And plays. He's a key piece in complementary football style offense, and that's going to win you some games. Will it win you the big games against top tier quarterbacks? That remains to be seen. We probably won't see that until after Week 4 because they play the Commanders next week. So that should be a W for the Cowboys, but they ran the football well. They moved Jason Peters to left guard, and now Tyler Smith is at left tackle, and that's such an underrated factor right now because Jason Peters is one of the best left tackles of our generation in the NFL, and now Tyler Smith, a rookie, gets to talk to one of the best, left tackles ever right there on the offensive line with him and learn and grow and get tips on what to do, and it doesn't get any better than that for a rookie offensive lineman in the league to have a guy right here next to you that's done it, did it at the highest level. He's a Hall of Famer. You got a Hall of Famer right next to you. That's a blessing. I think left guard is probably a good spot for Jason Peters, being that he's an older guy now. He doesn't have to, move in a certain way that the left tackles had to. So I think it's a good spot for him. They ran the football really well. Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, man, thunder and lightning. That's kind of what they're calling them right now. And I think it works having both of those guys in and out of the backfield. And Cooper Rush, man, he made some big throws. He made some really, really big throws. Should have had 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb dropped a gimme. And this is what I wanted to say right here. Michael Irvin on First Take today. When you get a chance to listen to that, he what he said was so profound and is so true. I mean, he was saying like he was saying, listen, he dropped the pass, and he was like, listen, it's about how you respond. And he said he was getting calls and texts and people saying like he's out of the 88 club, this is and that. And he went down there in that drive, caught like 3 or 4 balls, and he caught that one-handed touchdown. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I still want him to make the routine catches. That's a gimme. That's
easy. Right to him. Right in the breadbasket.
He said he was trying to looking upfield and then, but bro, you gotta. I mean, these guys know. These guys know. He obviously catch and tuck and then go to the field. But he he had a great response to the drop and scored that game winning touchdown for them. And he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in that second half of the game. And Cooper, like I said, Cooper Rush, man. Listen, I'm not buying into the. I'm not into the Kool-Aid or the QB controversy Kool-Aid. I don't drink. I'm not drinking that type of beverage, man. I'm just appreciating, listen, it's very important to have a backup quarterback. They're running the football well. And then lastly, defense. Defense is good. DeMarcus Lawrence had a hat trick. Would have never expected that. He had Evan Neal was a rookie. He's a rookie. That was his welcome to the NFL. That was his rookie. That was welcome to the NFL moment right there. You let one man have a hat trick on you. Get back in the lab. Get right. You're still young. Wishing for your success, but it was a rough game last night. Micah Parsons wasn't 100% coming into the game, so he didn't have that great game, but he was still flying off the ball in certain situations. Trevon Diggs, listen, boomer bust. There were some plays where it was like, yo, bro, what are you doing? But he got that. He had a great interception and made a play. So I think the Cowboys, they're doing what they need to do right now. They're winning the games they should be winning because I think in a couple of weeks it's going to get tough. You get the Bengals, you get the Rams, you get the Bucks. Those are winning. I mean, you get the Bengals, you get the Rams. I think it's another team that they see that's really good. So they have to win. They have to win these games.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot like what you said as well. I mean, I think the big thing out of these games is you have to figure out what Daniel Jones is going to be if you're a Giants fan. I mean, you got.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about the Giants.
you got. Listen, you got the Cowboys. Don't worry, I got the Giants, and then we can pick our games. You have 3 years of tape on him as a coaching staff, and they still can't figure out what he is. I mean, I think it's pretty simple for me.
Nobody is, bro. Yeah.
I know, but like they're trying to make a decision on his 5th-year option. Like, I don't even understand that.
Like,
how are you making a decision on his 5th-year option? He sucks. He is not good at football in my eyes. But who am I? Kid talking on the internet. Sterling Shepard, that hurts. Obviously out for the year. He tore his ACL.
God,
that turf, bro.
Just can't stay healthy, man.
It's the turf.
Well, it's not going to change. It's much cheaper. A lot
of injuries on that turf.
No, it is a lot of injuries. Stadium. Yo, DeMaurice Smith, what's up? You represent the players, right? I mean, that's something you should be talking about with these owners. DeMaurice Smith, that's your job. You're supposed to represent the players, and every phase possible. I know building turf fields is much cheaper than grass, so that's why they do that. But if you're playing on grass, you're not getting hurt like that. You just have more control when you put your foot down when you're running, as opposed to turf. And it's unfortunate. I saw OBJ speak out against it on Twitter, I believe, when Sterling Shepard went down. I was scared. I was about to pull that up, but you're good. Great call. But yeah, the Giants, they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
They need a wide receiver, and they need a wide receiver.
Kenny Golladay, that should be playing regardless, drops a pass.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp too came out today and really called him out, and I think he somebody needed to say something, bro, because he's pretty much saying like, okay, if you're gonna say play me, and then you go out there and put up and then have no effort like that, and the way he broke it down, I mean, he was like he ran the route lazy, and this is now. I was like, he got to step up, bro. He got a Hall of Famer calling him out like that on national TV. So he got to step up, bro. There should be no reason why he's not at least being productive on this team. They're screaming for production at the wide receiver position, like literally. Like
begging.
It doesn't. He needs to shift his mindset and just ball. That's what he needs to do. So Giants, they're 2-1, but their offense is obviously not pretty. Their defense is solid. It's good, but it's still going to be a developmental year for the Giants. I still believe.
Well, CJ, let's get into our Week 4 picks.
It's
been a long road to get here. I'll tell you that. Do we have an update on our record?
I gotta update that. I didn't get to update it for last week, but this week I'm gonna actually get this right down now for Week 4.
Listen, don't worry, people. We're keeping track of the record. We just don't have an update right now. Don't worry. It made it a little bit more difficult because I wasn't here last week. I'm a pain in the ass. So
Week 4. All right, let's go.
All right. We start off Thursday Night Football. We got the Dolphins going to the Bengals. Listen, I think the Dolphins start 4-0 here.
Let me get Cincinnati. Again. I feel like they need this W, and they need to get on a nice little streak here. They got the win against the Jets. We expected that. This is a much better team, and in Miami we got here really good defense. Hopefully, the offensive line could decide to do their job and protect number 9.
But I think very scared of.
I think they do so. This is the best Thursday Night Football game we've had. So, Chargers Chiefs was okay, but I think this should be a good game too.
Also, my other thing, Tyreek Hill going up against Eli Apple.
Yes.
Eli talked a lot of smack when they got to the Super Bowl, and Tyreek found out that they were playing the Bengals. He said, "Oh, I'm playing Eli. Yeah, I got you, boy." He said it in the post-game presser, so I'm excited for that one. Vikings go and visit the Saints. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing from the Saints right now.
Yeah, I'm going with Minnesota as well. I agree. The inconsistency from Jameis Winston, even though I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan, as everybody on the show knows, but I think Minnesota gets it done. Ugly type game.
Browns going to the Falcons, I think, is a pretty easy win for the Browns. I know the Falcons have been playing pretty good on offense, I will say. So maybe I shouldn't say easy, but I think they're just going to run it like they always do and then, force some mistakes on that defensive side. Although I assume Myles Garrett doesn't play in this game, so that does, scare a little bit. Not too much, though.
I'm gonna go Cleveland also. I think this could be a trap type game for the Browns. The Falcons are coming off a W against the Seahawks, but they're at home. But I think the Browns, again, they have an identity for the road in terms of running the football. Give me Cleveland.
The game of the week to me. This is the game of the week to me. Bills head over to Baltimore, take on the Ravens. Woo. Listen, I can't bet against Josh Allen, especially not in a game against Lamar Jackson, because, I've been on that Josh Allen's better than Lamar wave. But no, in all seriousness, I think the Bills win this game, bounce back for them, and especially because I think Lamar is going to play great again. I just don't think the Ravens defense can stop Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. They have the worst pass defense in the NFL. Not in my opinion, statistically, the worst pass defense in the NFL.
I don't know. That's crazy to think about. They got Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey. They got Marcus Williams. They got guys in that secondary. So that's wild. That's a stat for that team. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens in this game. It sounded like I was a Raven fan like 30 minutes ago, the way I was raving about Lamar. But he's playing well. It's going to be a really good game. I hope it's a close game. I hope we see both quarterbacks ball out, have really good performances. But I think Lamar, they want to get that W back in front of their home crowd after what happened in Miami against Miami.
Commanders going to take on the Cowboys in Jerry World. Listen, Cooper Rush 3-0 as a starting quarterback. I'm riding the wave.
Yes, Cooper Rush 4-0. He should be 4-0. Again, divisional, so can't sleep. But they're at home. I got the Cowboys.
Seahawks go and take on the Lions. Listen, I said this is not those same old Lions that we're used to. I'm taking the Lions here. 2-2 start, baby.
Yes, 2-2 start for me as well with the Lions. I think they get it done against a developmental Seattle team.
Chargers take on the Texans. I know Herbert's hurt. I know the entire team is hurt, but I'm still taking the Chargers over the Texans.
I'm going to still take the Chargers over the Texans. Even though a lot of those guys are out, the way they lost last year to them was very sad. I know that has to be in the back of their mind. They should ball out and have a really good game against Houston. I'm going with the Chargers.
Titans and the Colts, man, this is such a toss-up for me. And I think I'm going to pick the Colts only because it's at home.
I'll go with the Colts as well. Again, weird start for them, but I think their defense is really good. I need to give that rock to Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, two of the best running backs in the NFL, balling, going in this game. I just think Matt Ryan makes one less terrible decision than Ryan Tannehill in this one. Give me Indianapolis.
Bears take on the Giants. Maybe not the sexiest game of the week. I'm gonna go with the Giants. 3-1 start for them. Who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought either one of these teams? Because someone's gonna go 3-1 after this game. Who would have thought?
Yeah. This is another ugly game. I'll go with the Giants. I think Saquon has a really good game as well. In this one, I got the Giants.
I think the Eagles dog walk the Jaguars. By the way, Jags go and visit Philly. Listen, they're off to a 2-1 start. I know they've looked pretty good. I think the Eagles are just that tier above a lot of people.
This is a key game. Obviously, Doug Peterson going back to Philadelphia after everything that happened a couple years ago. So this this has a nice little storyline to it. Him going back to Philly. Hopefully, they should show him some love. He brought their only championship to that city from a football standpoint, so he should get a really good ovation from the Philadelphia crowd. But I still got the Eagles.
Jets take on the Steelers. This should be an absolutely terrible game. But I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think they just have more talent on the offensive side. It might not seem like it, but they do. So I'll pick the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh as well. I don't see enough from the Jets.
Cardinals take on the Panthers. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cards in this one. Panthers just have not looked very good.
Man, this could be a trap type game, man. I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I'm gonna go with Josh's team. Shout out Josh. I think the defense goes out there. They have a great game. They're at home. Baker needs to have at least one really good game in these first 4 weeks. I mean, these last 4 weeks have been pretty average to say the least. I think having a really good game in front of that home Carolina crowd would definitely smooth some things over, at least for a week or so. Give me Carolina.
No Mac Jones. Pats take on the Packers. Let the tanking begin, baby. Packers.
Yeah, I got Green Bay as well. Listen, I love my squad, but Brian Hoyer is just he's not good at the quarterback position. So yeah, I gotta go with Green Bay. Got to be smart.
Listen, Broncos Raiders. I think this would be a great game at the beginning of the year, but the Raiders are 0-3. Broncos are 2-1 and can't really score. I'm going to go with the Raiders getting their first win of the season, though.
I think
Broncos defense looks good, but their offense does not look good. I at least think the Raiders defense looks pretty solid. You have a closed door meeting with the owner this early in the season. You damn well better win this game at least.
I think this game is going to be good for all the reasons you just mentioned. Something's got to give from one of these teams offensively. So we're going to find out, or not. Maybe they both come out and they're still dirt, like we've seen the first 2 weeks. But oh man, give me the Broncos. I'll go with the Broncos here. Again, they need to stack up some W's. The Raiders, again, I know I was high on them, but I don't know, man. They're not playing good football.
Chiefs take on the Bucks for Sunday Night Football. And I'm going to go with the GOAT and Tom Brady, a Super Bowl 55 rematch. Mike Evans is back. I would assume Julio should be back in this game. And like we said, that defense is running around, looking real good. So I think the Bucks end up winning this one. Also, CJ, before you pick, I forgot to mention that Minnesota that Vikings game and Saints game in London.
In London. I'm gonna go with the Saints. Okay. I'm gonna take the Saints then. I'm gonna switch mine and go with the Saints. I think the Saints have a better defense, and without that home field advantage, I think that carries over overseas.
Okay.
Tampa Bay, Kansas City. I got the Buccaneers again. I just raved about their defense about 10 minutes ago. Again, they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, so they're not scared of anybody on that wide receiver position for Kansas City. Could be a long day for Patrick Mahomes. I think Mike Evans will come back, obviously, so I think that helps that offense a little bit for Tampa Bay. Give me the Bucs.
And then we rounded out Monday Night Football is the Rams and the 49ers. Man, it's so weird. 49ers have had their number, but they obviously lost in the playoffs. I think the Rams have exercised the demon, and the Rams end up winning this game.
Yeah, you're right. They've had their number in the regular season for sure. Kyle Shanahan just seems to find a way, and that entire team seems to find a way to get a dub against McVay outside of the NFC Conference Championship game. But I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams also. I think they're gonna win this one. Cooper Kupp has a really good game. I think there's gonna be a good battle. Obviously, divisional matchup, but give me the champs.
Well, that concludes our Week 4 picks. This is the longest episode I think we've ever had together.
So, yeah.
Damn near 3 hours. So listen, you guys know where to find me. It's Anthony Conover _. If you really feel like it, go check out the link tree. That has everything. Mondays is Gen Z at 7. Obviously, me and CJ are here every Tuesday. And then Thursday, I got Backstop Banter with me and Michael. But with all of that, make sure you go and follow the Hard Count on Twitter as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Unwrap Sports. Hit the notification bell so you know when everybody's going live. But with that, I hand it over to CJ.
Linktree.com/CJames9. Everything I'm working on. You can find me here on Unwrap Sports Network YouTube channel on Sunday 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Count the Bucket, covering all things NBA. Also, go to the Linktree, find out everything else that I'm working on. Man, I appreciate you guys watching us, listening. Again, if you're watching us right now on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. If you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure you give us a rating, give us a 5-star review, or force whatever you feel you want to give us a review for. 5 stars would be appreciated on the podcast, so more people could get to see what we're doing over here.
Well, appreciate everybody for tuning in. CJ, appreciate talking the NFL with you as always. But listen, I can't wait to stand up right now. So with all that being said, I'll see you later, everybody. And we'll be back next week. All right. Have a good one. Until then.